We're back in action at Civic Field for Game 2 of this weekend series. Saturday Night Baseball on the Olympic Peninsula. It's the Port Angeles Lefties taking on the Bend Elks. I'm Evan Schmeiser, everybody. The Lefties come off a heartbreaking loss a night ago. It took 11 innings, but the Bend were able to emerge victorious 10-8. The Lefties came out swinging early last night. They're looking for a strong start from Garrett Holpuck tonight. His 14th game of the season, not his first start on the mound, 18 2/3 innings for him. Usually a guy we see towards the middle of the game or even towards the back end. 12 strikeouts on the season, 8 walks, 21 hits. Perhaps a night where the Lefties are going to go heavily into their bullpen trying to piece this one together. Hunter Comide walks up to the plate. Came in late as a pinch hitter, ended up making it out. As he digs into the right-handed batter's box, we'll take a look at the rest of the Elks lineup. Comide will be followed by Tyler Peterson, who also came off the bench yesterday. Ruben Cedillo bats third. Bo Sylvester's the cleanup man behind the plate. Ryan Christensen, the hero of last night in right field. Avery Ortiz, the DH. The first pitch sits softly out to short. Isaiah Walls up with it, throws on the run, and a nice play to get us started. At 6:40 Pacific Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen, 66 degrees and a rare overcast night on this mid-July evening in Port Angeles, Washington. We've really been privileged to just a whole bunch of sunny days. So Avery Ortiz, the designated hitter, batting 6th. Bennett Thompson will be the 7th man. Jake Hoskins will bat 8th. Elijah Jackson will round out the order for the Bend Elks. First pitch curveball in there for a strike. Holpuck ended up allowing 3 unearned runs his last time on the mound 3 days ago against Victoria. Only able to register a single out in that outing, but he's ahead 0-2 to Peterson. Working out of the stretch. The flags are calm in right field. Virtually no wind to speak of. The 0-2 is hit pretty hard out to short. Walls, it hits off his belly, and it kicks into center field. A big turn from Peterson. He'll hold up there. And another error for the middle of the Lefties infield. Walls has had a tough couple of nights. That's one of those where he just waited back on his heels, didn't charge the ball, and let the baseball play him. Middle of the Lefties infield made 3 errors a night ago. Ended up leading to 4 unearned runs. Well, 5 total unearned runs came across for Bend, but 4 of them ended up coming off of Cole Acker, leading to a grand slam from Avery Ortiz, initially making it a 1-run game. Slide step, and Ruben Cedillo takes a strike. Cedillo was 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple walks. Lefties look to turn 2 as Holpuck comes set. A good lead from Peterson. That one's hit fairly well in the right center. Jackson on the run, but he's got a beat on it, and he makes the over-the-shoulder grab. A good play from Trent leads to the second out. Defense, defense, defense. Boy, has that been a theme for the Lefties over the past 2 weeks. I mean, you can look at having Isaiah Walls getting thrown out at the plate, trying to win the game in the 10th inning on a hit from Roberto Nunez as one of the key plays. But those 5 unearned runs coming across for the Elks, boy, does that make all the difference. A check on the runner, not in time, as Peterson goes back diving. It brings up Bo Sylvester. 1 for 5 with a run scored yesterday. Righty on righty matchup. A close stance for Sylvester as that one's outside. Bo also getting the start behind the plate tonight. Yesterday he was over at first. Boy, the Lefties infield really playing him the pull. Walls is deep in the hole at shortstop. And Roberto Nunez over towards the second base bag. Way outside 2-0. Well, the left fielder Kyle Becker had to stop for a moment to tie his shoes. He looks ready to go. And Corey Jarrell, his first time playing in the Lefties uniform in center, way over into the left center field alleyway. That curveball just outside 3-0. It depends on the night whether the starting pitchers get that call. Sometimes it could also change from the inning based on what we see. Hopuk over towards the third base side of the mound. 3-0 swinging is Sylvester. Out to Walls. He goes the short way to second in time to get Peterson. Good strong inning from Garrett Hopuk to get us started. The Lefties were able to put 3 runs up in their half of the first a night ago. We'll see if they come out swinging the same way tonight. The Lefties looking to keep the bats rolling. Just one night coming off of 17 hits. Connor Knipp will draw the start for the Bend Elks. His first time pitching this season. Heck, I couldn't even find him on point streak. Rising junior out of Jamestown College, 6'1", 230 pounds. Originally out of Newberg, Oregon. Can't really find any statistics for him with Jamestown. The Elks looking for a strong start from him. We'll take a look at the Lefties lineup. Isaiah Walls back in the cleanup spot. He's been swinging the bat great. Mauricio Guardado moves up to the second spot. He'll be catching tonight. Roberto Nunez back at second base. He'll hit third. Trent Jackson into the cleanup spot this evening in his familiar spot in right. Chase Taylor draws the start at first, batting fifth. Corey Jarrell will be the sixth man, making his Lefties debut. Julio Vasquez, another relatively new guy, hits seventh. Ethan Young, a night after getting a hit coming off the bench, is in the designated hitter spot. And Kyle Becker will round out the order for the Port Angeles Lefties. Boy, they did come out swinging a night ago, putting 3 runs on the board. All the damage coming with 2 outs. Lefties have been pretty aggressive as of late, just striking first. Could use more of the same tonight. Walls had 2 more hits yesterday and a couple runs scored. 5 for 15 overall. Really a good guy to have in that leadoff spot. And his first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Flags are still calm in right. Connor Knipp working out of the windup as that one misses a little low. Not a hard thrower and a pretty firm, straight-looking fastball. There's 1-1. Soft bouncer in front of the plate. Okay, and a late foul call from the home plate umpire. Well, the pitcher, Knipp, picked the ball up. He flipped it over to first. Well, actually, that was the third baseman, Tyler Peterson. Nope, not even him either. That was Sylvester coming all the way out from behind the plate. Goodness, that was odd. The oddities continue at Civic Field. Walls did not run at all because he knew he hit the ball off his leg. The home plate umpire, I'm not really sure what in the world he was doing. He didn't make any kind of call for the longest time. And then he finally made a very weak call with very little emphasis that it was a foul at the plate. That's one of those you obviously got to make it right away. So 1-2 the count now on Walls. He tries to stay alive. A breaking ball just outside. So at least an indicator early. That borderline outside pitch to right-handed batters may not be open tonight. The 2-2 curveball's in the dirt. Good at bat from Walls. He works it back full. As Walls steps out for a moment, 3-2 the count now. As Knipp comes set, here's his payoff. A soft high bouncer over the third. Peterson backs up on it. He fires across just in time to get Walls by a step. With 1 out, it brings up Mauricio Guardado. Guardado settling into the left-handed batter's box. Goodness, he's got quite a story as he takes the first pitch outside. So when he joined the team up in Victoria, he took just about every form of transportation you could possibly imagine. So he swings and fouls that one out of play to the left side. So let's see. He took the plane metro train from Seattle, the Seattle airport, to the bus station. So, of course, he traveled by plane. He got on the bus, drove 4.5 hours to Port Angeles as he rips that one high and deep down the right field line over his Christensen towards the fence, and it lands just out of play in the lefties' bullpen. So 1-2 the count. Let's see. Then Guardado walked onto the ferry to head to Victoria. Bree and the head of host families for the Harbor Cats, Cindy, picked him up by car. Then he ended up walking right through the stands to get to the dugout. As he goes down swinging right there with a fastball 2 away.
Now batting your second baseman from Embry-Riddle University, number 21, Roberto.
That'll bring up Roberto Garza Nunez with 2 outs. Boy, Roberto had quite a day yesterday. 3 more hits. So he takes the first pitch upstairs. Now back in second place for total hits. He's just had quite a summer. Comes in hitting .359. As he lifts that one high in the air to left. It's not deep. Comite started back. He comes in. And it'll be the shortstop, Jake Hoskins, who makes the grab in shallow left. 1-2-3 go the lefties in the first. Both pitchers trading zeros to open this ball game. To the top of the second we go. We'll see Garrett Holpuck get back to work in his first start of the summer.
Everyone makes
5-6-7 coming up for the Bend Elks. The second game of the 3-game series against the lefties. Ryan Christensen, Avery Ortiz, and Bennett Thompson will take their first stabs against Garrett Holpuck. Who worked a really effective and clean first inning. The only base running he had to work around was an error. Christensen had himself a pretty good day yesterday. 1 for 6 with a 2-run homer. His third of the year on a deep drive to right. First pitch looks like a changeup right down the chute for a strike. He also ended up throwing out Isaiah Walls at the plate with 2 outs, or with 1 out in the 10th inning. Ultimately, that would have won the game for the lefties. Down and in, 1-1. Longer look in this time from Holpuck. Now he comes set. And here's his 1-1. Just inside 2-1. The third baseman, Julio Vasquez, playing way off the line. And you have Nunez playing in shallow right field at the second base spot. That's what he's commonly done against lefties who pull the ball. Another slow changeup in there for a strike. Haven't seen that pitch very often from Garrett. It's a good one, though, especially dealing with left-handed hitters. Couple shakeoffs from Garrett, working on the slower side compared to other pitchers. Now he comes set. Here's his 2-2. Swung on and missed. The first punch out of the night for Garrett. He's looking pretty good early. And now they'll bring up Avery Ortiz. Boy, Ortiz was huge yesterday. 2 for 4 on the night, 5 RBIs. Came up with a grand slam in the 5th inning, which initially made it a 1-run deficit. Curveball in there for a strike, 0-1. Then he had a base hit to tie the game in the 7th. So he's a guy the lefties really need to keep in check. Comes in tonight only hitting 184. Did not look like one yesterday. Breaking ball upstairs, 1-1 the count. Really bizarre night yesterday all the way around. The lefties doubled the amount of hits compared to the Elks, 17-8 in that category. So that one is ripped, just fouled down the left field line. 1-2 the count. The lefties still put up 17 hits, even though they went hitless from 2 outs in the 3rd inning all the way till 1 out in the 7th. So they really piled on those hits early and late, I tell you. The 1-2 from Holpuck. Fastball a little inside. Looked like it had a little extra run on it. Also for Bend, a really bizarre box score, at least from their hitters. As Holpuck is ready with his 2-2. Was hard by Ortiz, flagged down by Vasquez at third. Long throw across, plenty of time. Well, that was a pretty crisp play at the hot corner. And 2 quick outs for Holpuck. Now I'll bring up Bennett Thompson. As he settles into the box, we'll take a look at the lefties defensively. Julio Vasquez is at third, Isaiah Walls the shortstop, Roberto Nunez back at second, Chase Taylor playing first tonight, Mauricio Guardado behind the plate, first time we're seeing that this summer, Kyle Becker's in left, Corey Jarrell, the center fielder, Trent Jackson in right, and of course Garrett Holpuck working his 2nd inning on the mound. The first pitch from Holpuck, looks like another breaking ball, a little low. So 1-0 the count. Thompson did not play last night. Goodness, seemed like nearly everybody for both teams played. 11 total substitutions among position players. As that one's laced fair down the left field line, it'll roll towards the corner. Becker over to get it. Thompson takes a turn from first. He'll get into second sliding just ahead of the throw coming in from Becker. So a 2-out double gives the Elks some life with a man in scoring position. The first hit for either side tonight. And that'll bring up Jake Hoskins. Hoskins 1 for 2 with a 2-run single. He ended up being the difference maker last night, giving the Elks that 2-run lead in the 11th to seal the deal. How about that coming off the bench? Holpuck's first pitch is a curveball that misses outside. A dangerous guy to deal with right now. Really the whole bottom of the order for the Elks. Actually looking a lot more dangerous than the top, at least just based on last night. The 1-0 from Holpuck. Curveball in the dirt. It gets away for a moment from Guardado, but he's able to find it underneath his legs. The 1 through 5 hitters for Bend when they combined 3 for 24 yesterday. No RBIs and no extra base hits. The 6 through 9 hitters, including pitch hitters, hitting in those spots, went 5 for 19 with a double and 2 home runs. Not amazing, but still a lot better than the top. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. And again, the 6 through 9 hitters had all 10 of the RBIs. What's really odd to me is, at least statistically, you wouldn't think of these bottom of the order guys as being the danger zones. In the dirt, 3-1. Goes to show anything can happen on any given night. And anyone can get hot. Holpuck comes set on the 3-1 count. Thompson looming at second. Fastball, it's hard in the left center. That's going to get down for a hit. Thompson's rounding third. He's going to come across the score. The throw from Becker comes into second base. Well, an RBI single for Jake Hoskins, his third ribby in back-to-back nights. and 1-0 Bend. So it'll bring up the 9th man, Elijah Jackson.
Number 2, Elijah Jackson.
Jackson went 0 for 1 yesterday, coming in as a defensive replacement late. Again, 11 total substitutions for both teams. First pitch fastball on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Hoskins has not stolen a base this season. And he has been on base his share of times, so probably not a threat to run. That's on the outside corner, 0-2 the count. So Halbach and the Lefties have allowed a run. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs allowing that. Trying to limit it to 1. Slide step, and that 0-2 is a little high. The lights are on much earlier than usual at Civic Field. Usually we see them about 8 o'clock. Well, it is a lot darker with the overcast skies. 1-2 curveball is in there for a called strike 3. Second punch out of the inning for Halbach, and that retires the side. A run comes across on 2 hits for the Elks. The RBI blow coming from Jake Hoskins, plating Bennett Thompson. Well, the Lefties look to get the bats going as they trail 1-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for the bottom of the second, it's brought to you by Leets. Leets Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is the Peninsula's premier family-owned farm supply and equipment dealership. When we service what we sell, shop local, support local, shop Leets Farm Supply. First pitch to Trent Jackson has popped up, and Jake Hoskins, the shortstop, barely had to move to put it away. Jackson swinging at the first pitch, as he's often done. And that'll bring up Chase Taylor. Taylor again playing at first base tonight. First pitch out of the windup from Connor Knipp, a little high, ball 1. That 1-0 curveball, a little low. Almost looked like Sylvester got crossed up behind the plate. He's not going to talk to Knipp. I'd really be curious if the amount of times I think catchers get crossed up, I wonder how many times they're actually crossed up. Inside 3-0. Because obviously if they're not getting crossed up, that just means they're receiving the ball very poorly. Well, that is what summer ball is all about, working on your craft. The 3-0 to Taylor, a late strike call. Taylor started walking the first. It didn't look like a bad pitch. So 3-1 the count now, 1 out in the bottom of the second. And that one's outside. First walk issued from Knipp. Taylor waited just an extra moment before strolling down the first. As Corey Jarrell will dig in home plate for his first at bat as a lefty. We'll take a look at the Elks defensively. Tyler Peterson's at third, Jake Hoskins the shortstop, Elijah Jackson gets the start at second, Bennett Thompson's at first, Bo Sylvester behind the plate, Hunter Comey's playing left, Ruben Cedillo's in center, Ryan Christensen's in right field as the first pitch misses outside, and Connor Knipp, of course, working his second inning on the mound tonight. The Elks will look to turn 2. Ooh, pitcher's pitch right there. He gets the outer half strike call. Jarrell with an open stance, waving the bat high above his head. And the 1-1 is hit foul to the left side. Corey Jarrell initially committed to the University of Washington out of high school, decided not to sign with them. He's now playing for Vanguard University. Jacob described me as a good contact hitter as that one misses high. Another big power guy hits the ball to all fields. Yeah, they were both together a couple summers ago with the Yakima Valley Pippins. So Jacob saw a lot of Corey as that curveball just outside. And a good at bat from Gerald, working it back full after falling behind. Taylor's at first. He just walked a moment ago. Julio Vasquez waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. As that one's lined foul down the left field line, out of play. And Taylor started as if he was going to go to second. Well, if you're confident in Gerald as a contact hitter, then it might be a good idea to start Taylor at first. He does run pretty well. The 3-2. Taylor does not go, and that one's lined foul again into the screen. That foul ball nearly hit one of the Synergy cameras on top of the Elks dugout. Jacob is surely relieved that it did not touch one of his Synergy cams. I guess I wouldn't like it either if it touched one of my Synergy cams. Good lead from Taylor, and he draws a throw. Nearly got away from Thompson. Had to stretch a little extra across his body. So Gerald set again, the 3-2 incoming. A good at bat from Corey. A check swing, just high. Woo, Nip wanted that one. Great, I'm sure Garrett would have wanted that pitch too. It was close. It could have gone either way. Ultimately, back-to-back walks put men on first and second for the Lefties with one out. Trying to answer back after the Elks picked up a run in the second. And that'll bring up Julio Vasquez. Julio 1 for 5 last night with a 2-run double. Ultimately helped propel the Lefties' initial rally to give them a 7-2 lead. First pitch down and away, 1-0. Yeah, pretty decent start for Julio last night. His second game in a Lefties uniform tonight. He has a huge hole on the right side. Jackson playing right on top of the second base bag, trying to keep Taylor close. That 1-0 is it hard towards the hole on the left side, past the diving Peterson for a base hit. Rounding third is Taylor. He's trying to score. The throw from Comide is nowhere near in time. It's up the line. RBI single, Julio Vasquez. The Ribbies keep coming for him in his second game in the Lefties uniform. 1-1 in the second. And good execution from the Lefties, making the Elks pay for those walks. And that'll bring up Ethan Young. Broke out of a difficult slump last night. Coming in late with a pinch hit single. He was removed ultimately for a pinch runner. He takes a first pitch curveball low. All sorts of work with Earl Smith in batting practice. Trying to keep his body level and go to all fields. Staying on top of the baseball. Here's the 1-0 from Nip. Swung on and missed, 1-1. The Elks still set up to turn 2. A long looking now from Nip. He's really slowed down with men on base. Way outside 2-1. You have good athletes all the way around on base. Gerald, at least described to me as a speed guy. He looks like a pretty good athlete at second. And you have Vasquez at first, who also runs well. A short lead, though, from Corey. In the dirt, it gets away from Sylvester to his right. Both runners will advance on the wild pitch. And a 3-1 count to Young. Good opportunity for Ethan. Trying to give the Lefties the lead. Looks like the Elks will play back to concede a run. You have the first baseman, Bennett Thompson, playing even with the bag. Even Peterson at third is playing back. Here's the 3-1. Check swing, and Young did go around. Nip went with a 3-1 breaking ball right there, down and in towards the back foot of Young. So Young trying to put up a productive at bat, at least get one home. The 3-2 from Nip. That one's hit high in the air down the right field line. It's not deep. Jackson, the second base, Thompson also out there. And Elijah Jackson makes the catch. Tagging and coming home safely is Corey Jarrell. Good base running from him. Ultimately, a productive at bat for Ethan Young. He's able to pick up an RBI. 2-1 Lefties. Vasquez also able to go to third on the play.
Number 8, Kyle Becker.
Good work from Ethan, just being able to put bat on ball right there. And that'll bring up Kyle Becker. 1 for 3 yesterday. 2 for 13 overall in the Lefties uniform. He goes after the first pitch, hits that one high to center. It's not deep. Ruben Cedillo right there to make the play in short right center. The Lefties able to take advantage of the 2 walks issued by Connor Nip. RBIs for Julio Vasquez and Ethan Young. Through 2 full at Civic Field, the Lefties take a 2-1 lead. Garrett Holtbuck and the Lefties will get back to work with a 2-1 lead. Top of the order coming up for the Bend Elks. Hunter Comide, Tyler Peterson, and Ruben Cedillo. Comide bounced out to short his only at bat. Just about a half inning ago, we heard over the public address system about the Lefties legend B.Y. Choi. His last night in town after being drafted in the 20th round by the San Diego Padres a few days ago. First pitch curveball misses inside. And he's at the ballpark, set up at his own table, signing autographs, baseballs, jerseys. I'm sure there'll be some hats. I'm sure we'll get some kind of really odd request. That always tends to be the case with these kind of things. Swung on and fouled at home plate, 1-1. I had the chance to talk to BY as soon as he arrived to the ballpark. Boy, is he relieved and he is excited for getting drafted. I wonder if Guardado was crossed up right there because he started to walk out to Garrett. Well, and the umpire seems like he kind of signaled him back. First time Guardado has caught Holtbuck. Of course, Mauricio hasn't been in town all that long. Good curveball in there for a strike. And I was able to talk to BY a little extra even before he got drafted. And his whole demeanor just seemed different today. He seemed at ease, of course very happy, like a big weight was lifted off of his shoulders. 1-2, swung on and missed at a fastball. Third strikeout in the early goings for Holpuck. Garrett looking to pick up a shutdown inning after the lefties put up 2 of their own in the second. It'll bring up Tyler Peterson. He reached on an error by the shortstop Walls, his only at bat. Yeah, Troy will be heading out to Phoenix tomorrow. Get his signing, all of his medical stuff taken care of as the first pitch curveball misses down and in. Then eventually start working out. Officially a professional ball player. Of course, we wish him all the best. That curveball's right there for a strike. Steady diet of breaking balls early from Holpuck. BY's the kind of man you can't help but root for. A really bright and cheerful young man. 1-1 fastball, just inside. Looked like Holpuck tried to run it back over the inner half to the lefty Peterson. The Elks playing their all-black jerseys with the yellow pinstripes. Lefties in their orange tops and their blue bottoms. Inside with a breaking ball, 3-1 the count. And you have the orange line running down the pants for the lefties, and even the orange highlighting the pockets. Holpuck comes set. 3-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on base. That fastball's right there for a called strike 2. Peterson's not as much of a power guy. I would expect a challenge fastball from Holpuck, especially with the middle of the order coming up. Garrett says yes to the next pitch. He comes set. It is 3-2. Curveball in there for a called strike 3. Well, don't bother listening to me. Already the 4th strikeout for Garrett. 3 punch-outs in a row dating back to the second. Had Peterson absolutely fooled on that big bending breaker. So with 2 away, it brings up Ruben Cedillo. He flew out to fairly deep right field back in the first. And all 3 outfielders playing him fairly deep. If anything, Becker in left is playing the most shallow of anybody. You have to respect the opposite field power, as we've seen. That first pitch is ripped deep to left field. Back goes Becker, and that's going to sneak just over the left field wall. Cedillo ends up jumping all over a first pitch curveball from Garrett Holpuck. He's just tied the game at 2 in the third. His 3rd homer of the season. You talk about a tomahawk chop right there. Not a whole lot of airtime on that one, but it got out of here in a hurry. I thought for just a moment that the fence would be high enough to keep it in. So a 2-2 ball game, it brings up Bo Sylvester. Bounced into a fielder's choice to end the first inning. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it at the plate. Yeah, Matt Eckers talked to me about this. Just with the air changing in the middle of the summer and it generally being warmer. Although by no means is this the warmest place in America for the summer by any means. Pretty pleasant in the 60s as of right now. Did not get any help from the wind. Fouled into the screen, 0-2. And you do wonder how Garrett's going to be facing the order for the second time. It is his first time starting a ball game. First time this summer, that is. Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs. A high bouncer, and that's going to go over the head of the third baseman Vasquez in the left field. A huge turn from Sylvester. He'll retreat to first. So back-to-back base hits for the Elks. It keeps the inning going. I mean, that ball was just, talk about an ant killer. Just beat it straight into the ground, and it popped off the lip of that grass around the batter's circle at the plate. And just way too high and hit way too hard into the ground for Vasquez to make any play on it. I mean, after that first big bounce, that ball landed, it looked like it landed in the outfield grass. Talk about a Wrigley hop. First pitch fastball on the outside corner to Christensen. one of 4 punch-outs for Holpuck. That one coming back in the second. Nunez playing for the overshift on him in shallow right field. Up and away, 1-1. First time we've seen Nunez playing in the field in about a week. A little extra time to recover from a bit of a sore shoulder. 1-1 breaking ball, that's in there for a strike. That is part of the danger, though. You show so many breaking balls and your full arsenal the first time through the order. Much easier to adjust the second time around. Especially in the age of analytics. All sorts of advantages for the hitters the second and third times around. That curveball, I guess it was just high. Pretty good frame job from Guardado trying to bring it back. The center fielder, Corey Jarrell, is playing almost all the way back at the fence in center. Well, now he comes walking in a few steps. The 2-2 slide step swung on and missed. Holpuck able to pick up 3 punch-outs in the inning. 5 overall on the early night. The Elks are able to tie it up, though. Third home run they've hit in the second game of this series. Ruben Cedillo able to clear the left field fence. So we head to the bottom of the third. It'll be the top of the order for the lefties coming up when we return. We're good to go for the bottom of the third inning, everybody. Isaiah Walls, Mauricio Guardado, and Roberto Nunez will be our hitters. Top of the lineup for the lefties, getting to see Connor Nip the second time tonight. He'll be working the third. Walls bounced out to shortstop, his only at bat. Nip working out of the windup. Lefties putting up 2 runs in their half of the second. And that time Nip getting the called strike on the outer half. That's in there, 0-2 the count. So Walls now having the battle. And Nip all ready to go. That 0-2 is fouled into the screen. Walls behind 0-2. That pitch is fouled away again, this time to the right side toward Race Street. The outfield playing shallow all the way around. You have Guardado waiting on deck. The 0-2 again, a soft bouncer. It gets past Nip, out to the second baseman Jackson. It's going to be a tough play, and Walls is going to be safe. It'll be a base hit for him, and yet another hit for Walls. The only play Elijah Jackson had on it was, and he attempted to do this, trying to glove it and then flip it over the first with the glove in one motion.
Number 20, Mauricio.
Speed does kill, and it never slumps. And that brings up Mauricio Guardado. Struck out his only at bat in the first. It's all about with a man on first. The lefty's trying to strike back after the Elks tied it last inning on a home run from Cedillo. Guardado shows bunt. He bunts up the first base line. It's gloved by Thompson, and he'll tag out Guardado. Trying to do some dancing to get away from it. He did a head-first dive in the first. I love the effort from Mauricio. Ultimately, it's a sacrifice bunt.
Now batting your second baseman, number 21.
So sacrifice, 3 unassisted for those keeping score at home. And it brings up Nunez. He popped out to short back in the first. Nunez, a very aggressive hitter, coming in hitting .359. That time he takes a curveball in there for a strike. Snap throw down to second, not in time to get Walls. Heads up just enough to get back in there. Interesting idea from Bo Sylvester behind the plate. The right fielder Christensen playing awfully shallow on Nunez. Frankly, that's probably how he threw out Walls in the 10th inning last night with the lefties trying to win it. In the dirt, it gets away from Sylvester, and going to third is Walls. Great read on that one. That's what makes or breaks you as a base runner a lot of the time. One of those was a good effort from Sylvester, but it just bounced in front of him, and just too good of a secondary lead from Walls. So he advances on the wild pitch. 1-1 the count to Nunez. And so the entire infield, except for Bennett Thompson at first, will play back to concede a run. Plenty of offense early on both sides. Fastball a little inside. And boy, it's really good to see Nunez able to bat in the 3 spot now. Even as the leadoff man at one point, he was top 2 in the league in RBIs. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball 2-2. He's dropped down to 7 coming into play tonight. Trying to put something in play now. The 2-2 from Nip. A high bouncer over the head of Nip towards the middle. The second baseman Jackson up with it, throws on the run. In time to get Nunez. Walls able to cross the plate. A really good at bat from Roberto, just putting a ball in play.
Number 5, Trent Jackson.
Also another RBI for Roberto. It'll bring up Trent Jackson now with 2 outs and nobody aboard. First pitch out of the windup. Jackson swings and misses at a curveball. Christensen in right is not playing Jackson very deep. Way out in front of a breaking ball, 0-2 the count. So that's twice now. The lefty's able to execute with a man on third and less than 2 outs. Hit hard out to second, off the glove of Jackson, and it skips in the right field. Looked like that might have hit the lip of the grass in the outfield going out there. Crazy, crazy hop. We'll see how that one scored. For now, a 2-out base runner for the lefties. And it looks like that'll go down as an error on Elijah Jackson. So that extends the inning. It'll bring up Chase Taylor. And Jackson draws a throw. He goes back in on a dive. Longer looking from Nip. Now he comes set. Taylor waiting for his first pitch. And it's a curveball right down the chute. Curveballs to go around from both starting pitchers, Nip and Holpuck. Jackson is a threat to run. He's stolen 4 bags this season. Way outside 1-1. Corey Jarrell waiting on deck, making his lefties debut tonight. The 1-1 coming in from Nip. Short leg kick, a curveball, a little high. It almost looked like Bo Sylvester handcuffed himself while receiving it. Kind of looking at his glove right now. Did not look comfortable making that grab. Taylor awaiting a 2-1, and here it is. Big swing and a miss at a breaking pitch. You know, one thing I've noticed about Chase Taylor, though, throughout the summer, he might see a pitch or have an at-bat where he looks a bit foolish, but he's been really good at just coming right back and getting a much better swing. able to turn the page and make the quick adjustment. Well, he goes down looking right there at a breaking pitch. Bit of a borderline call. The second strikeout of the night for Connor Knipp. It retires the side for the Lefties in the third. The Lefties able to strike back, though, taking the lead once again. Walls able to get it started with an infield hit, and his base running able to create that one nearly by itself. 3-2 Lefties through 3 full over the Elks. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Garrett Holpuck will get back to work in the top of the fourth. He'll face the six-man Avery Ortiz, Bennett Thompson, and Jake Hoskins. Sitting on a 3-2 lead once again. Back and forth we go at Civic Field. And everybody, I'm joined in the booth by one of the men himself, Roberto Nunez II, the father of Roberto Nunez III. Thank you so much for joining us, Tito.
Hey, thanks. It's good to be here with you guys. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and enjoy some baseball from this point of view.
First pitch outside to Ortiz, 1-0 the count. Ortiz, a dangerous hitter with a grand slam last night. Holbuck out of the stretch, and that one taken a little bit high. So how's the extended stay been in Port Angeles? You guys been up here for a minute, even taking the ferry over to Victoria with us.
Well, you know, Evan, we live in Monterey, California, and we call that God's country, but for us to be so impressed with the beauty and splendor of this part of our beautiful country is unparalleled. So it's been such a great time being here with you guys.
Oh, it's really, really refreshing to hear. I do love Monterey myself. I've been over there once or twice. Way upstairs from Holpuck to Ortiz, 2-2 the count. So I know Tito, the third, of course, has torn it up at Embry-Riddle, Aeronautical the past couple seasons. He comes into play second in the league in total hits with 46, batting .359 coming into play. Seventh in RBIs, as that curveball's a little high, 3-2 the count. Did you guys expect his level of production at the plate this summer, or is this a bit of a surprise even for all of you?
No, he's been balling since he was a young boy. So you know, he's in his comfortable situation. So this is not really surprising for us. We're just so happy that he's doing what he normally does.
That breaking ball misses inside. Ortiz draws a leadoff walk. It'll bring up Bennett Thompson, who doubled and scored back in the second. Well, he really has torn it up. And, you know, I shouldn't be surprised from an answer from a dad like that. I shouldn't be surprised. My dad probably would have answered that the same way.
Yeah, we're very proud. He's worked hard, and he's an interesting story because I'll let you.
1-0 the count to Thompson, misses just outside.
You know, he's at a premier university for aviation. He's always wanted to be a pilot since he was young, but he had a lot of Division I offers offered to him, but he wanted to go fly planes.
Here comes the 1-0. That one's popped up foul into the screen. Kind of hit that one near those other two baseballs, Tito, sitting on top of that screen right there.
It's an interesting setup we have there.
Yeah, that screen's supposed to replace the chain link fence going into next season. Granted, that's definitely helped out a few guys' batting averages, saving some pop-outs.
For sure. For sure.
Here's the 1-1 slide step. To call for a strike, throw down the first, not in time to get Ortiz, who got caught way off the bag for a second. 1-2 the count. And so you mentioned flight school, and I assume that's going to be, Tilo III is going to continue down that path if he's not drafted next year. I mean, are you guys thinking much about just the next calendar year looking ahead already?
Yeah, for sure. Well, this experience this year has really put him on the radar. A lot of MLB
Another
scouts.
snap throw down to first. It gets away from Taylor, not far enough for Ortiz to go anywhere.
So, yeah, so he, his dream's always been to play professionally, and hopefully he gets that opportunity next year. Like I said, this summer he's been on the radar now, so hopefully next summer his dreams come true. And once his playing days are finished, he always has that opportunity to go back and become a pilot.
Hopuk, a longer look in this time. Now he comes set with a 2-2 pitch. The lefty's trying to turn to. That curveball way outside, 3-2 the count. That must have been really cool, though, seeing BY get drafted. Did that kind of make Roberto and all of you guys think a little different? Like, oh, wow, that must – I hope that's me next year.
For sure, for sure. You know, it's interesting because when you –
as that one's rocketed foul down the left field line towards the batting cages. The count remains 3-2.
When you bring guys together from all over the country, it takes a little bit to gel and to build that camaraderie. But these guys built it pretty fast, and obviously BY, real smooth, slick shortstop, getting that opportunity that gives the others that aspiration for sure.
3-2 the count to Thompson. Ortiz looming at first. That one's hit a mile high down the left field line again. Kyle Becker over towards the fence, and they'll run out of room as that drops into the Elks bullpen. Pretty good at bat from Bennett Thompson. 3-2 lefties over the Elks. No outs in the top of the fourth. Avery Ortiz walked to start the inning. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Roberto Nunez II, the father of Roberto Nunez III, playing out at second base for the lefties. Of course, good to see him back out there. I've been being the designated here over the past week. As that one gets away from Taylor, throw over from Holpuck, and it heads towards the lefty's dugout. It's called a dead ball. Ortiz is going to be awarded second. The second error of the night for the lefties. The defensive issues do continue that have been looming for the better part of a week and a half. Opportunity for the Elks now to manufacture a run. Holpuck coming set. Here's his 3-2. That one's hit hard back to second. Caught by Roberto Nunez, the third. He'll jog over to the second base bag himself. An easy line drive double play. Avery Ortiz is doubled off. Boy, your boy barely had to move for that one, but he looks smooth making that play.
It's good to have him back out there, right, Evan?
Oh, you're telling me. I like to think we helped him out on that one, just a little bit.
You called that double play, looking for it.
First pitch curveball on the inside corner to Jake Hoskins. RBI single for Jake back in the second, plating Bennett Thompson. That's one of those, we have the perfect view of it, and you can see it coming right away. Oh, he's going to catch that one, and he's got him doubled off. 1-1 the count on that breaking pitch. So 2 outs, nobody on base now. The entire complexion of this inning has changed on that line drive double play. In the dirt, 2-1 the count. How did Victoria treat you guys?
Victoria was absolutely beautiful. Weather was unreal. We were in shorts and T-shirts. We were hanging out there. Beautiful scenery.
Holpuck coming set. That 2-1 breaking ball right down the chute. 2-2 the count now. And was that your son's first time in Victoria?
It was both Roberto's first time being out there in Victoria.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, mine too.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We're definitely wanting to go back.
That 2-2 curveball just outside. I think the entire lefties infield started to jog off on that one. I definitely saw Wall starting to run off the field.
They were trying to help the umpire out, weren't they?
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I like it. So 3-2 the count, 2 outs now. Here's the pitch from Holpuck. That one's hit way up in the air, the left center. It's not deep. Becker started back. Now he's sprinting in, and hits right off his glove and kicks back towards the infield. Hoskins hustling the entire way. He's in the second standing up. The third error of the game for the lefties, the second of the inning, and it extends it. I mean, the sun's not an issue by any means tonight. One of the few speaking about weather a moment ago, we've had pretty great weather as far as clouds and sunny skies go, but the sun's covered by the clouds tonight, so that's not a factor for Becker. Just flat out missed it.
Yeah, you really called it in this league. All the teams are really good. You really got to play clean baseball on defense. And, you know, it's hard to keep the pitchers from being frustrated when they have to pitch 6 outs an inning.
Elijah Jackson takes a first pitch fastball a little outside. Holpuck visibly unpleased with that call. So Garrett's going to have to throw a few more extra pitches. And that line drive double play out to Tilo III, really looming large right now. That's on the outside corner, 1-1. So Becker's still playing pretty deep in left. I mean, with how deep he was playing, you get a big swing like that. You start back as an outfielder, you almost can't help but do so. Of course, a play that has to be made. That's on the outside corner, 1-2 the count. Holpuck trying to work out of a jam. The lefty's still sitting on a 1-run lead with 2 outs in the 4th. That's Hoskins at second, reaching on the 2-base error from Becker in left. Holpuck comes set with a longer look in. His 1-2, way outside, 2-2 the count. That did feel like something else, though, taking the ferry across. Obviously not a captain, but he can't help but kind of walk up to the top level of all that and just look out in the distance. Curveball down and away, 3-2.
Isn't it amazing how close our neighboring country is to us when you're out there on the ferry?
It's bizarre to think about. Well, I went a month with my previous host family house, just the backyard, looking right out there like it's some distant, faraway land. As that one's fouled off down the right field line towards the grandstands. And it did almost feel, even though it's right there, it did feel otherworldly. And even, I don't know about all of you growing up in the Monterey area, but growing up in New Jersey, we don't really think about Canada. We think about, well, at least on the shore, we think about the Atlantic Ocean and trying to deal with the next hurricane. As that one's ripped out to left field, Becker on the run over towards the alleyway. He makes the two-handed grab this time, and that retires the side. Holpuck able to work around a jam, having to throw a few extra pitches thanks to an error in left field. Highlight play from Tito III over at second, able to help keep the Elks off the board. 3-2 lefties as we head to the bottom of the 4th. We've got Roberto Nunez the second in the booth. At least one more half inning, you guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're ready for the bottom of the fourth at Civic Field. The Lefties leading the Elks 3-2. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Roberto Nunez II, father of the Lefties second baseman Roberto Nunez III. Chance Dowdy will grab a bat and pinch it in the sixth spot in the place of Corey Jarrell. Hitting .231 overall, 3 for 13, limited action to start his career with the Lefties. We have a new pitcher for the Bend Elks, on the relief of Corey Knipp. He is not listed anywhere on Point Streak Online. His last name is listed on the lineup card, Keggers, so I might just have to call him Mr. Keggers for the night. His first pitch is a fastball and misses upstairs. So let's see. Now, Tito, I was talking to you about this a little bit earlier. Every once in a great while, you have situations like this. We have a left-handed pitcher out there. I'm going to guesstimate he's about 6'2". Swung on and missed by Dowdy. Obviously, no idea which college he went to, because there's nothing listed. He's wearing glasses and yellow spikes, black and yellow spikes, outside 2-1 the count. I can't make fun of him for the glasses too much, though. I wear glasses myself. And he's playing summer baseball for the Bend Elks. That ball's ripped into left field by Dowdy. It's going to drop in front of Hunter Comide for a hit. Good swing on a high fastball from Chance as he goes after. He's able to get a board against Mr. Keggers.
He's swinging a hot bat right now.
Now batting your third base.
He puts on a pretty good show during batting practice.
Julio
He's got a good, quick
Vasquez.
swing. They'll bring up Julio Vasquez. RBI single for him back in the second, plating one of the 2 runs for the Lefties. On the inside corner, 0-1 the count. Now, too, we talked a little bit before just about, and the people back home are aware of this, that I announce pig races during the off-season at fairs. And Monterey is one of my stops. A high bouncer over the head of Keggers to the shortstop Hoskins, throws on the run in time. Up to second goes Dowdy. I promise, if I get sent to that spot again for Labor Day weekend, I will be sure to let your son know, and then you can all come out, watch the pig race. You can watch Sloppy Joe and Strawberry and Bob, and we can get you a picture with Strawberry after the show.
That's right. Just also want to remind you, you have your house there too, so hopefully we do see you out there. Would love to experience that with you. And
Brock Mayer picks up the bat. He's pinch hitting for Ethan Young in the 8th spot, so lefty on righty matchup. The first pitch is right down the chute for a called strike from old Mr. Keggers. This is interesting. Acker and the lefties going to their bench in the 4th inning. Already 2 pinch hitters.
he's playing the lefty-righty matchups.
Yeah, it's definitely one strategy. Swung on and missed at that one, 0-2 the count. And so Mayer, I would assume he would stay in the designated hitter spot. We came off a game last night where we saw 11 total substitutions among position players alone. Even all the way around on both sides. Good lead for Dowdy. As that one's looped in the right field, that's going to drop in for a hit. Dowdy got a late start, had to make sure it wasn't caught. It's a wild throw coming to the plate from Christensen. I have no idea what he was doing. So up to second on the throw goes Mayer. So a base hit for him coming off the bench. It's now second and third with one out for the lefties. On Tito, we have a third pinch hitter coming up. That'll be Cam Custer, batting in the place of Kyle Becker.
Number one.
Yeah, you're right. Ecker's really playing those lefty-righty matchups.
I believe he is, yeah.
I'm glad I have you up here as my color guy for the moment. I'm not sure if I would have thought of that at my own. I should be able to think of that at my own, but, you have to deal with all the pinch hitters coming in. Sometimes you can be a little slow with other things.
Well, and he's fortunate he finally has some depth, right, where he can do that with his lineup.
Down and in 1-0. He does have a lot of position players at his disposal. And so Custer, he's been playing left field virtually the entire season, so should be a pretty straight-up substitution. The Elks playing the infield back. The first baseman Thompson in it, even with the bag, as that one's fouled straight back. 1-1. So did you coach a lot of Roberto's teams growing up, whether Little League or travel ball?
Yeah, we made sure, though, we had him do multiple sports so that he can always work on his footwork and his speed and agility. It wasn't just one sport,
1-1 fastball misses outside, 2-1 the count. You said he was a soccer guy before?
Yeah, he played soccer, basketball, football. He really excelled in basketball. He was a better basketball player up in high school.
That 2-1 pitch swung on and missed by Custer, 2-2 the count. I've always been a huge fan of kids playing multiple sports growing up, just staying active but still using different muscle groups and giving other things a rest.
Yeah, for sure. And that way you don't burn them out on one sport either.
Down and in. It gets away from Sylvester to his right. Coming home is Dowdy. He's going to get in there standing up ahead of the toss to the pitcher, Keggers. More good base running for the lefties. It's now 4-2 Port Angeles. Up to third goes Mayer. And 3-2 the count to Custer.
Just bringing back your point, Evan. Good, clean baseball. You don't have these issues.
It makes all the difference. The 3-2 pitch, the infield coming in for Bend as Custer swings over the top of that one. So Mr. Kegger is able to pick up a strikeout. 2 outs now. It brings up the leadoff man, Isaiah Walls. He singled and scored in the third, also grounded out in the first. So the Elks are able to move the infield back. And I'll tell you this, Tito. I tried playing soccer as a kid. As that first pitch, curveball misses low. I had zero ability. My feet, my ability to kick a ball and control it, and God forbid, try and kick it accurately, I was incompetent at that. Swung on and missed 1-1. It goes to show it's a difficult thing to learn any skill. I was a decent goalie for a minute, but then I started running cross country. That was a much better fit. I was no soccer player. Another swing and a miss, 1-2.
But again, you tried different sports and you figured out what you were better at and what you weren't. So commend your parents for giving you that opportunity.
Yeah, just because you're nervous, you're not going to be good at something doesn't mean you should never try it. Inside 2-2. Snap throw down to third, just barely safe is Mayer. That caught me by surprise, including everybody else. Well, I don't know. Did it catch you by surprise, Tito?
Well, he did that at second base earlier. That was a practice play, obviously. So he's not afraid to show off his cannon.
Here's the 2-2 from Keggers. Soft bouncer towards the hole at shortstop. Hoskins up with it. He better hurry to throw. It's a high throw, and it goes into the crowd. Looks like it actually kicked back into play from going into the crowd. So another error now for the Elks. Coming across the play is Mayer. We'll see how that one is scored because that was going to be a pretty close play at first. Hoskins really took his time on that one. Maybe not understanding the speed of Walls. Isaiah is staying at first base, so maybe that ball hit the fence by the lefties' dugout. I thought that went out of play. But anyway, guys, as you could tell right before the pitch came in, Tito II was right on the pickoff play before. This is why I love having a color guy so much. They're on the case. First pitch low to looks like we have another pinch hitter. Travis Helm is hitting in the place of Mauricio Guardado. Well, Guardado is a lefty. Left-handed batter. Soft bounce to third. Tyler Peterson up with it. He makes a good throw across the diamond. And that finally retires the side. The lefties scored 2 more runs, taking advantage of some wild pitches and a throwing error to extend their lead. 5-2 lefties through 4 at Civic Field. Everybody, we've got Roberto Nunez II for one more full inning. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're set for the top of the 5th inning. Lefties now leading 5-2. A whole bunch of changes early for Port Angeles. First, we have a new pitcher. Chaz Graham will take over in place of Garrett Holpuck. Relatively new guy, his 3rd game of the season. Both his first 2 outings coming in Victoria. First pitch, he gets the called strike to Hunter Comide. 0 for 2 to start the ball game. Chaz Graham, a sidearm throw, or more of a submarine throwing right-hander. 6'1" out of Colorado Christian University. That one way outside, 1-1 the count. And you also have Cam Custer playing left field now in place of Kyle Becker. Chase Taylor moves from first base to catcher, and Travis Helm takes over at first. So Mauricio Guardado out of the lineup. Soft bouncer out to short. Walls stays down on it. In time, the first. So Graham able to get the first batter. Once again, everybody, I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined in the booth by Roberto Nunez II, the father of Roberto Nunez III out at third base. Able to help us a little bit with some of the new positioning. Much appreciated, my friend.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lots of changes early in the game, like you were mentioning last night. They had used, what, 11?
It was 11.
Wow.
It was both teams combined using 11. We already have 3 for the lefties now. First pitch to Tyler Peterson is in there for a strike. Peterson reached on an error by Walls in the first, struck out in the third. Now, righty on lefty matchup. Really seeing Acker playing the left-right matchups. That one's lofted in the left center. It's in there for a hit. Custer over to get into the alleyway, and Peterson will dig into second with a stand-up double. Wasn't hit very hard, but just kind of died in the alleyway. So I was able to talk to Chaz back in Victoria, Tito, and he grew up on a ranch in Donley, Idaho. Talk about a guy growing up, riding and training horses out on the countryside. I don't know if you're a fan of the Yellowstone series with, why? Oh, this is embarrassing. Kevin Costner. Oh, geez, that's embarrassing. I forgot it was Kevin Costner. Well, I knew it by the look. That's bad. That's a bad one. Because deep down, I kind of want to be a cowboy. A little low, 1-0 the count to Ruben Cedillo. He homered his last at-bat in the third, initially making it a 2-2 game. That's a bad one. I expect better. I mean, I wear a cowboy outfit and everything when I announce my pig races.
I wish I would have known where you were going with that, because I have seen every one of those episodes.
Oh, you are a fan. 1-1 the count.
And 1932 and 1881, I think was the other one.
Oh, I've got some catching up to do with those other ones. Yeah, because one of them has Harrison Ford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1932.
I like it. But yeah, hearing Chaz tell me all about growing up on a ranch, well, it made me think of all that stuff. You ever been to Idaho?
I can say definitively I have never been to Idaho.
Well, I know I want to go there at some point. There's a 50% chance my pig racing boss sends me to the Northern Idaho Panhandle at the end of our season here. 1-2 the count to Cedillo.
Hopefully it's not in the middle of wintertime.
Oh, no, it'll be in August. It would be in August. So definitely warmer than here, but hopefully mild with it being so far north.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Peterson looms at second after doubling a moment ago. 1-2 the count to Ruben Cedillo. Pitch from Chaz Graham is in the dirt. Good play from Taylor behind the plate. Looks like the sun's starting to peek out just a little bit. First time we've really seen it all day. We have been blessed with good weather. And talk about good weather, Monterey County, California. That's some fantastic weather. A 2-2 is bounced out to short. Walls charges to get it. He's got to hurry to throw, and it's high off of the lefty's dugout, and it kicks back towards the second base position. Peterson comes across to score. Oh, the second error of the night for Walls. Yeah, he's really been struggling out there the past couple evenings. It's now 5-3 lefties. And let's see, Cedillo's still standing at first, so I guess that ball did stay in play.
Number 3, Bo Sylvester.
He's a smooth defender. Just there's something. I think the dirt has him a little jittery right now. He's not getting his glove all the way down. So he's having a double pump, and he sent down airmail, one of Tito's airplanes in the morning.
Yeah, that is a pretty good point. We have seen a few fielders tonight trying to deal with some in-between hops on both sides, frankly. So it brings up Bo Sylvester. He singled his last at bat, and the first pitch is at the knees for a strike. The lefty's looking to turn two. The second baseman, Nunez, playing over towards the second base bag. A lot of room on the right side. We'll have to wait as a check on the runner at first, not in time. A longer looking from Graham. Now he comes set. There goes the runner. Pitch taken low. Throw down to second by Taylor. It gets past Nunez into center field. Cedillo pops up from second. He'll dig his way into third. Wow, the third error of the inning. Or excuse me, second error of the inning. Nothing Roberto could have done at second with that throw. Just a very wide one from Chase. So a stolen base for Ruban, and he gets to third on the throwing error. Griff, how many errors is that now on the lefties after this one? We're up to 5 already. Oh, it's that bad. We're up to 5 already in the top of the 5th. That hits right off the hand of Sylvester. So that puts men on first and third with 1 out.
I know you're a big Phillies fan. Oh,
my. We're rough defensively.
This guy reminds me of one of the old great sidearmers, Kent Tekovi, famous Philly pitcher.
Oh, you talking about the closer from those 1990s teams, the Wild Thing. Oh, I gotta find that guy's name. It brings up Ryan Christensen. He had a home run last night as he grounds the first one foul down the first base line. First and third, 1 out for the Elks. Now why am I so bad at names tonight? Goodness, I forgot Kevin Costner's name earlier. That's embarrassing. Mitch Williams. You talking about Mitch Williams? So that one's through the hole on the right side for a base hit from Christensen. Coming in to score is Cedillo. Stopping at second is Sylvester. It's now 5-4 lefties.
No, Kent Tekovi, the sidearm submariner specialties. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates for a while, and he also played with the Phillies. I remember him on the Phillies.
I'm going to guess that was a little before my time. So I guess we can understand that one a little bit. We're going to have a meeting on the mound. Here comes Earl Smith. We're used to seeing him trotting out there pretty fast. This time he's walking out there. There is somebody up in the lefties bullpen, so likely trying to stall and buy the pitch a little extra time. And frankly, too, though, if you're Chaz, you just got to, frankly, keep doing what you're doing. 'Cause he's making good pitches. He's just not getting a whole lot of help behind him.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, all you have to do as a pitcher is continue pounding that zone. Let your defense go to work. He's obviously not going to overpower any batter with the speed that he's bringing to the plate. He's got to rely on your defense to do their work.
Did your son do much pitching when he was younger?
He was a pitcher. He used to throw pretty hard, but when the mound got further away, we decided better save his arm.
Yeah, once I had that change, I was no good pitching myself. First pitch swinging is Ortiz. He hits that one in the air to shallow center. Jarrell comes in. He's able to make the catch. Or beg your pardon, Chance Dowdy out in center. Well, that was the other change I forgot about. Chance Dowdy took over for Corey Jarrell. So he's in center field. Goodness, it was that many subs. So 2 outs now, men on first and second. So let's see, that's already 4 changes for position players for the lefties. And of course, Mayer on the bench now in the designated hitter spot. Bennett Thompson doubled and scored back in the second, 1 for 2 overall. First pitch low, 1-0 the count. Sylvester at second after being hit by a pitch. Ryan Christensen at first. Elks already putting up 2 in the inning. The lefty sticking with Chaz Graham for now. As that one's lined into left field. Custer got a late start, but he's able to hang with it and make the grab. So that finally retires the side. The lefties commit their 4th and 5th errors of the evening already. 2 runs come across to score for the Elks. Port Angeles hanging on to a 1-run lead for now. Look to see if they can get the bats going once again, heading to the bottom of the 5th.
Port Angeles Lefties.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to the bottom of the 5th. The lefties sitting on a 5-4 lead over the Bend Elks. Lefties offense looking to get back to work. The Elks taking advantage of 2 errors in the top of the 5th, plating 2 runs. It'll be Roberto Nunez III getting us started, Trent Jackson and Chase Taylor. Simon Lemke will take over on the mound for the Elks, as his first pitch is a little outside, 1-0. A 4.80 ERA for him out of Columbia Basin Community College. Incoming freshman over there. His 8th game all out of the bullpen. A couple saves over 15 innings. Outside 2-0 the count. I mean, I'm curious. Are you the kind of dad who's like, it's really like up? No, that's not a good question to ask. That's not a good question to ask by any means. You seem like a pretty relaxed guy, though.
Yeah, I think I am.
On the outside corner, 2-1. Obviously, it's a little different once your kid comes up to the plate.
Yeah, you do focus a little more.
The 2-1 coming in from Lemke. That one's hit hard towards on the left side. That'll get through for a base hit. Roberto Nunez, his first hit of the night. He's now 1 for 3.
Now batting your right
Continues his
fielder,
torrent and electrifying
5,
summer for the
Trent
lefties.
Jackson.
That'll bring up Trent Jackson. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error by the second baseman Jackson his last at bat. It's really good to have Jackson up with men on base. A lot of room on the right side. And the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. The middle infield playing quite shallow for the Elks. I guess almost as if they're expecting a bunt. Nunez started and stopped, and that pitch is hit foul at the plate. So Jackson behind 0-2. Nunez very much a threat to run. He's stolen 7 bags this season, including one yesterday. Middle of the pack as far as raw speed is concerned, but he picks his moments nicely. Slide step, that 0-2 is inside. Delayed steal attempt from Nunez to throw down to second. Waiting on the call, looks like Nunez is safe. Well, like I said before, picking his moments. A delayed steal right there for Roberto Nunez III, his 8th of the summer. Now 1-2 the count to Trent Jackson. Lemke comes set. A close stance for the righty. And that one's just inside 2-2. You like the stolen base right there, Tito?
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's that's on coaching too, picking the right pitches all the time to call steal or delayed steal in that case.
At 2-2, check swing. It goes over the head of Sylvester. Not much room behind home plate, though. Nunez not able to advance.
Got crossed up there, huh?
Yep, he sure did. That's about the 3rd or 4th time where Sylvester received the pitch, and I thought he got crossed up. But yeah, you're on the money with that one. Looked like a fastball, and he never got his glove up in time. So now 3-2 the count to Trent Jackson. Nunez looming at second after singling to start the inning, then stealing his 8th bag of the season. Lefties trying to pick up at least 1 run here after the Elks cut it to a 1-run game. Down low, ball 4 to Trent. Lefties are in business. 1st and 2nd, nobody out in the 5th.
Number 18, Chase Taylor.
That'll bring up Chase Taylor. He walked and scored in the 1st. Walked and scored in the 2nd. Struck out his last at bat in the 3rd. And we're going to get a meeting on the mound for the Elks. The entire infield's going to come in for this one. Difficult view looking at the visiting team's bullpen, but it looks like there is action in the Elks bullpen. It always helps when you have taller guys out there. One of the quicker meetings I've seen this season. Coach is already heading back to the dugout. What do you think the approach right here should be if you're Chase?
You got to make this a productive bat, no outs. You got to make sure you at least move the runners over.
The third baseman Peterson playing even with the bag just in case of a bunt, and Taylor swings away and he's out in front of a curveball. 0-1 the count. The left fielder Hunter Comide is playing way over in the alleyway in left center. Everybody else pretty shallow on Chase. It goes off the glove of Sylvester. Both runners will advance, and Jackson's in a rundown. Caught between 1st and 2nd. Hoskins running him back to the bag, and he's going to be tagged out at 1st. So really good base running from Nunez initially to take 3rd. The pitch just on a pass ball from Sylvester. I'm not sure if he was crossed up again. Jackson tried to follow. He got a late start. It was a smart play from Bo Sylvester to throw down to 2nd. So with Jackson out, 1 away. RBI opportunity, though, for Taylor. The Elks are going to bring the infield in. And you wonder if Nunez will go on contact. Simon Lemke still working out the stretch. That one's hit hard. Off the belly of the shortstop Hoskins. Nunez will hold up at 3rd. Plenty of time to get Taylor at 1st. Taylor hit the ball hard, but a pretty good play from Jake Hoskins. Forces Nunez to stay at 3rd. That's all you can do is hit the ball hard.
He hit it right on the money. That was a good barrel.
Number 10, Chance Dowdy.
And that'll bring up Chance Dowdy. Came off the bench as a pinch hitter and singled in the 4th. Now a righty-on-righty matchup, and a curveball misses outside. Lefties manager Matt Acker going to the bench 4 different times in the 4th, trying to take advantage of the pitcher-batter throwing matchups. Outside 2-0.
With this guy's spinner, you got to be ready for that pass ball again.
All about that walking lead. The 2-0 coming in way outside 3-0. Yeah, looking down there at 3rd. Roberto is taking that walking lead the way you want. Going out in foul territory and coming back in fair territory. The 3-0 to Dowdy. Looks like he took all the way, and he takes a strike. I'm Evan Schmeiser, everybody, joined in the booth by Roberto Nunez II, father of Roberto Nunez III, who's over at third. Hit hard towards hole at shortstop, backhanded by Hoskins. Long jump to the first, not in time as the ball gets away from Thompson. And out of play in the Lefties dugout. An RBI infield single for Chance Dowdy. Nunez crosses the plate. It's now 6-4 Lefties. Well, speed kills. And how about the base running from Tito the third? The delayed steal and then advancing on the wild pitch created that run himself.
For sure. Timely hitting. I tell you, Dowdy swinging a hot bat. The shortstop made a good play just to even stop it. That had base hit written all over it.
So it brings up Julio Vasquez. He swings to the first pitch, lines it down the right field line, and it's going to drop foul.
You know, Evan, you talked about the errors, and at this rate, it's all about winning the inning, right? So
yes,
if you make errors on yours, and see if you can still win the inning in the bottom half of your inning.
It's a good sign from the lefties, able to strike back with at least one of their own. Swing and a miss from Vasquez at the breaking ball, darting down and away. 0-2 the count to Vasquez. Chance Dowdy at second after picking up his second hit of the night coming off the bench. 6-4 Lefties over the Elks. The 0-2 from Lemke. Fouled away towards Race Street. You know, one of the really good things about this overhanging screen, I'm not sure if this was planned at all, but way fewer foul balls hitting cars on the street or in the parking lot. Here's the 0-2 again. Just outside 1-2. Have there been any foul balls where you're going, oh, please don't hit my car?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Now here's the 1-2. Nope, we'll have to wait for it as Simon Lemke steps off. I guess he wasn't a big fan of whatever Sylvester was putting down. Boy, it's turned into a beautiful evening. Good amount of sunshine now with the slightly overcast sky. The 1-2 at 2 out, swung on and missed by Vasquez. That'll retire the side in the fifth, but the damage has been done. Roberto Nunez able to start the inning with a single, a stolen base, advancing on the wild pitch. The Lefties are able to manufacture a run, thanks to Chance Dowdy's second hit of the night off the bench. 6-4 Lefties over the Elks as we're through 5 full. This will be the end of the night in the booth for one Roberto Nunez II. Real pleasure, Tito. Thanks so much for joining us.
Just like to say hi to the family at home, my parents, Armando, Virginia, and all the family in Sacramento and in Portland and all in Washington. Thank you for supporting your grandson, your nephew. And Evan, you do such a fabulous job. Thank you for having me up here, and what an honor this has been for me.
Well, thank you for joining me, sir. All right. Enjoy the rest of the game, my friend. We'll be right back, everybody, back home. Well, welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. Top of the sixth inning we go. 6-4 Lefties over the Elks. Kai Kamada, the new pitcher on the mound. And he starts Jake Hoskins off with a strike. Hoskins picked up an RBI single in the second, reached on an error in left from Kyle Becker. But that one's ripped in the left field. Back goes Custer. He's not going to get it. It's a fair ball up against the fence. And Jake Hoskins will pull into second with a leadoff double. Well, back and forth we go offensively. Both teams coming out swinging it. The third double of the season for Hoskins.
Now batting, number 2, Elijah Jackson.
That'll bring up Elijah Jackson. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Kamada out of Pierce College, the second game he's pitched in West Coast League play, that is. We did get to see him make his debut against the Dudes. His last outing went 2 innings against Victoria a couple days ago, 4 earned runs on 5 hits. Gets a swing and a miss from Jackson. So we got roughed up a little bit in Victoria. Trying to work around a base runner at second. Trying to pick up what's turned into an elusive shutdown inning for both teams. That one's in there for a strike. It kicked off the glove of Taylor. Yeah, he got crossed up. Okay. Wasn't sure at first if Chase was going to go out there. Yeah, the meeting concludes. A pat on the backside from Chase Taylor to Kamada. And hopefully they're on the same page. Goodness, we saw last inning, Simon Lemke and Bo Sylvester were not on the same page at all. 0-2 the count to the ninth man, Jackson. At least based on a night ago. Bottom of the order is dangerous for the Elks, as that one's bounced foul by the Bend dugout. We also saw last night a whole bunch of rockets going over to the dugout of the Elks. Nobody was ever injured in any of the plays last night, but a good amount of guys getting out of the way. 0-2 the count. Nunez playing in the back pocket of the runner at second. A check swing, and it hits off the knob of the bat foul. That was a real pleasure having Tila II up in the booth for a couple innings. Really just a wonderful guy. Easy to see where Roberto Nunez III became such a gentleman from. Way outside 1 and 2. Everybody straight up all the way around in the Lefties outfield. No action in the Port Angeles bullpen. Short lead at second from Hoskins. The 1-2 from Kamada. Slow, looked like a curveball. Oh, Taylor got crossed up again. Yeah, they're not on the same page. It looked like a changeup. Taylor kind of stabbed at that ball, definitely not expecting that kind of pitch. I mean, it's a dangerous situation for a catcher to get crossed up. You rarely, even in summer ball, you know, guys trying to get acquainted pretty quickly. You don't see a catcher get crossed up twice very often, the same at bat. So we're set once again. Kamada looking in. He comes set, working on the far first base side of the rubber. Big curveball swung on and missed. An important first out for the Lefties and a good bender from Kai.
Number 27, Hunter Kamada.
It brings up Hunter Comide. He's 0 for 3 tonight, a strikeout and a couple of groundouts. Open stance for the leadoff man, and a longer looking for Kamada. Well, now he's ready. Hoskins inches his way off of second. Couple look backs from Kai. Now he deals a soft bouncer foul up the third base line. You know, at this point, with all the changes an inning and a half ago for the Lefties, I might as well lay out the fielders again. Julio Vasquez and Isaiah Wall still at third and short, respectively. Roberto Nunez still at second. Travis Helm is the new first baseman coming in an inning and a half ago. Chase Taylor behind the plate. That next pitch is just outside 1-1. And Cam Custer is in left field. Chance Dowdy is the center fielder, and Trent Jackson, who started the game in right, is still out there. And, of course, Kai Kamada on the mound coming in for the 6. Right down the middle for strike 2. 1-2 the count on Comide. Well, a little more action now from the flags and right. The leaves are not really stirring with any kind of breeze. And the 1-2 in the dirt. It gets away from Taylor, and it kicks over to his right. Up to third on the wild pitch goes Hoskins. That was a difficult breaking ball, kind of a 58-footer. Chase did all he could to try and block it. It's now a 2-2 count to Hunter Comide. The lefties will play the middle infield back to concede a run. They're going to bring the corners in. Both Vasquez at third and Helmet first, playing on the grass. And that fastball's on the inside corner for a called strike 3. Almost looked like a bit of a quick pitch that time from Kamada. Big time second out. Back-to-back punch-outs for Kai Kamada. Trying to work around the damage. It'll bring up Tyler Peterson. He doubled and scored his last time up in the 5th. First pitch he takes just outside. Taylor approved of the pitch, though. Custer playing Peterson the opposite way and left. Also battling the sun now that's come back out. Outside again, 2-0. Well, pick your poison if you're Kamada. You have Cedillo waiting on deck, who homered earlier in the game. And has had some pretty good swings the past 2 nights. Way out in front of a changeup is Peterson, 2-1. A nasty pitch from Kai Kamada. Lefty still leading 6-4, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Jake Hoskins at third. A soft bouncer at the second. Nunez charges it. He gloves it, soft throw of the first in time. Impressive pitching from one Kai Kamada, working around a leadoff double, stranding Jake Hoskins at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th, see if the lefties can add on a little more. Welcome back into the booth, everybody. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the order coming up for the lefties. Brock Mayer, Cam Custer, and Isaiah Walls, the leadoff man. Mayer came off the bench with a pinch hit single in the fourth, eventually came around to score. Well, we have a new pitcher for the Bend Elks. And once again, he is not in their point streak. He's wearing number 33. His last name is Liddell. This first pitch is inside for a ball. Trying to get one of our other guys to go down there to find out who it is. That's a little inside 2-0. Well, let's see. We did this before. This Liddell guy, similar to Keggers. This guy's wearing the white spikes, inside 3-0. He's a reasonably tall and well-built right-hander, wearing his pant legs low down to the shoes. He's got a pretty good beard going. That 3-0 is up and in, so a 4-pitch walk to Brock Mayer. It'll bring up Cam Custer. He struck out coming off the bench to pinch hit back in the fourth. And so this Liddell guy trying to settle in as he misses with 5 straight.
Let's go, Lefties.
Mr. Keggers and then Mr. Liddell. Good lead at first from Mayer, inching his way off the bag as Cam takes inside 2-0 the count. Mayer, the two-way guy for the Lefties. He has not stolen a base this season. Cam takes a fastball right there, 2-1. The left fielder, Hunter Comide, playing reasonably deep, shaded to left center. Everybody else shallow for the Elks. Hit hard, past the diving third baseman Peterson for a base hit to left. The ball kind of dies out there in left field. Stopping at second is Mayer. The Lefties, for the second straight inning, back in business with leadoff base runners. Port Angels able to put a run up on the fifth, while scoring 2 runs in the fourth, 1 more in the fifth. The Elks were able to cut it to a 5-4 ball game at one point. We're going to get a meeting on the mound. Here comes the Elks manager, Joey Wong. And what's this going to be about? Now Wong is headed towards the home plate umpire. He has not gone out to the mound. I don't know what that is about. Well, Acker, as he normally does, brings both the batter and the base runners, as well as Earl Smith, in to talk things over. You could potentially see a bunch coming from Walls. Acker does like to play small ball if the situation presents itself. He's not one of those guys that's against it by any means. And so Wong and the Elks are sticking with Liddell. Well, we're ready to go. The Elks infield playing in just in case of a bunt. Mayer at second, Custer at first. Walls does show bunt, and he bunts it foul off the catcher, Sylvester. Both the third baseman, Peterson, and the first baseman, Thompson, were charging. You definitely want to bunt this ball up towards the third baseman. Make him come get it so there's no play at third. Both Mayer at second and Custer at first, pretty good athletes. All about that secondary. Walls shows bunt again, takes inside. Interesting alignment. So the shortstop, Jake Hoskins, went to cover third. And the second baseman, Jackson, went to cover second. So at least with the bunt defense for Bend, they're leaving second base vacant. Walls swings away and pops it foul. So Liddell trying to work out of a jam coming out of the bullpen. Walking Mayer on 4 pitches, allowing a single to Cam as he steps off. Second pitcher of the night for the Elks, not listed in their point streaks. I can only work off the last name. Way inside. It goes right to the backstop. Oh, look out. Mayer's calling a rundown between second and third. The ball shot right back to the catcher, Sylvester. And Mayer's going to be tagged out. That's just a really difficult break. You wonder if Bo Sylvester was crossed up right there. That fastball just went screaming right past everybody. Sylvester really didn't even get a glove on it. Well, now he's talking out there with Liddell. I think he was crossed up. Well, I guess that can happen with brand new pitchers. And we saw that last inning for the lefties. A major break for Bend as Mayers put out. Custer still at first. It's the right instincts, but behind home plate, you have the big block of wood that kind of goes all the way around the backsteps. We've seen a few balls just clank off there really hard. Here's the 2-2 pitch now. That one's lined in the right center. On the run is Cedillo. He's not going to get it. It's going to go to the wall. Over to get is Cedillo. Custer's being waved home. The throw comes into the cutoff man. Going to third is Walls, and he's in there safely. Isaiah Walls, an RBI triple. It's now 7-4 Lefties. So Walls now at third. Custer across the plate. Major break now for the Elks. An extra run not able to come across for the lefties. We have a meeting on the mound. The catcher, Bo Sylvester, out to talk to Liddell. Elijah Jackson also in on the conversation. Action in the Bend bullpen. Couple situations where the Elks probably trying to buy some extra time. The lefties bullpen is quiet. And now the infield will come all the way in as Travis Helm will bat. Helm bounced out to third base, his only at bat. One of the four pinch hitters coming in the fourth. 0-1 the count. Walls runs extremely well at third. You wonder if he'll go on contact. Curveball up and in. The lefties had a similar situation with Nunez on third last inning. The Elks brought the infield in. He did not go on contact on a hard hit ground ball to Hoskins at short. The 1-1. That's in the air to center. It's pretty well hit. Cedillo goes back. He'll make the grab. Isaiah Walls will trot on home. 8-4 Lefties. Good at bat from Travis. Second RBI of Helm's young season. And now it'll be Roberto Nunez. He singled and scored his last time up in the fifth, really showing off those good base running instincts. Batting with nobody on, he takes a strike. So Liddell, fresh out of the bullpen, has allowed a couple runs. Down and in, 1-1. It's good to see from the lefties, though. Still some sloppy play at times tonight, but each time the Elks have rallied, the lefties have come right back. Curveball just high, 2-1. And time is called. Here comes Wong. Out of the Elks bullpen, or out of the Elks dugout, and this will surely be it for Liddell. Yep, here comes a new pitcher out of the bullpen. A pitching change at Civic Field on a 2-1 count, 2 outs and nobody on. The lefties already scoring 2. We'll be right back to introduce the new pitcher. Well, the new pitcher at Civic Field, ladies and gentlemen. The Lefties now leading 8-4. Mahiro Tomita out of Kanagawa, Japan, a rising sophomore at Southwestern Oregon Community College. The 5'7", 154-pound right-hander. Coming on in a 2-1 count to Roberto Nunez. 3-2 record, 7.57 ERA. His 10th game of the season. He's gone 19 innings. Not a big strikeout guy, only 12, 11 walks, 25 hits though, so he'll allow his share of base runners. His last outing, he went 2 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball against Cowlitz, scattering 3 hits in that one and no walks. Well, Roberto Nunez will settle back in, 1 for 3 tonight, coming off of a 3-hit game an evening ago. Boy, it's really turned into a picturesque evening. Just a few scattered clouds now. The foothills for Olympic National Park perfectly in view, and looks like an ephus pitch taken up and in. That might have barely been 60 miles per hour. The 3-1, pretty good fastball, downstairs, ball 4. Quite a change of speeds. A 2-out walk now.
Now batting your right fielder.
I would think that walk would be charged to Liddell, with Tomita coming in the 2-1 count. It brings up Trent Jackson. Trent walked his last time up. Way out in front of a breaking ball, 0-1. Jackson going after the first pitch as he's often done, especially over the past week and a half. Christensen is playing shallow and towards right center on Trent. Way out in front of another slow breaking ball. That's the last thing that Trent wants to see. He loves the heater. I guess Tomita kind of knew that. 0-2, another curveball, that's outside. One of those 12-6 straight benders. A short lead at first from Nunez, and there he goes. Off the end of the bat, up the third base line, foul. That time Tomita going with a fastball. Nunez got a huge jump. He already stole his 8th bag of the night a couple innings ago. Or actually 1 full inning ago. Tomita set in the 1-2 in the dirt. A good take from Jackson. The Lefties already with 8 hits with 2 outs in the 6th inning. A night after picking up 17 hits against the Elks. Here's the 2-2 to Jackson. Hit hard but foul towards the lefty dugout. Tonight's starting pitcher Garrett Holtpuck ended up jumping out of the way of that one. And now he goes sprinting to get the foul ball. There's somebody else racing him. Who's going to get it? Holtpuck has a slight lead towards the wall. And Garrett Holtpuck ends up getting to the foul ball first. Good hustle from the pitcher. Long looking from Tomita. Now time is called as he was about to deliver the pitch. A good job from Jackson. He held that ball for a long time. Here comes Garrett Holtpuck walking back with the foul ball, satisfied with his hustling effort to get it. Jackson way out in front of another curveball. He goes down on strikes. So the side is retired, but more damage has been done. The Lefties score 2 more to take an 8-4 lead. The big blow, the RBI triple from one Isaiah Walls. He continues to rake in his early summer with the Port Angeles Lefties. 8-4 Lefties over the Elks. We head to the top of the 7th, everybody. Don't go anywhere. We're ready to go for the top of the 7th inning. Ruben Cedillo, Bo Sylvester, and Ryan Christensen will be the batters. Kai Kamada will get back to work after throwing a scoreless 6th inning. First pitch misses inside. Cedillo reached on an error by Walls at short, eventually came around to score. He also homered in the 3rd. Already 3 home runs from the Elks in this series. Curveball. Ooh, didn't get the call. I thought it was a pretty good pitch. What an evening at Civic Field. Hardly any wind right now. Oh, look out. Up and in. I thought that pitch got a piece of something. I guess it might have been Taylor's glove. It's a 3-0 count. It nearly got the helmet of Cedillo. And it looks like Aiden Arriaga has taken over at shortstop for Isaiah Walls. That 3-0 pitch is called a strike. 3-1 the count now to Ruben Cedillo. The 3-1 from Kamada. Right down the chute again, 3-2. 3-2 the count now with nobody on base. You definitely don't want to walk the leadoff man up by 4. Soft bouncer out to Arriaga at short. The ball always finds, he bobbles it. And the throw's not going to be anywhere near in time. Boy, a routine ground ball, not hit hard. Arriaga just kicked it in and out of his glove, and then once he bobbled it, no chance to get the out. The 6th error of the night for the Lefties. And that'll bring up Bo Sylvester. Sylvester was hit by a pitch his last time up. He also singled in the 3rd. Also, more extra pitches for Lefties pitchers. 6 errors tonight with nobody out in the 7th. That one's on the ground to 3rd. It goes past Vasquez. It's a fair ball down the line. Stopping at 2nd is Cedillo, as Custer's able to get it in. A soft hit grounder by Sylvester. You have Vasquez kind of playing even with the bag just in case of a bunt, I guess. Just no chance for him to try and get it. That brings up Ryan Christensen. RBI single for him back in the 5th. He's also been punched out a couple times. As here comes Matt Acker. Walking out. He's bringing the entire infield in. And it looks like that's going to be the end of the night for Kamada. Well, he threw well out of the bullpen. Just an error and then a Texas League base hit ends his night. Both base runners are his responsibility. So we'll take another break at Civic Field as a new pitcher comes trotting in for Port Angeles. We'll come back just a little bit early, everybody. Top of the 7th inning, Wes Penninger will take over on the mound with men on first and second and nobody out in relief of Kai Kamada. So I've talked about it a few times. You guys are probably familiar with Sequim, about 17 miles east of Port Angeles, only about 8,000 people. Despite the typical rainy weather, especially during the spring and the winter time in the Pacific Northwest, Sequim is pretty well known around here as being kind of in the rain shadow is what they call it. They average under 15 inches of rain a year. Just for some context, Port Angeles gets 25 inches of annual rainfall. Seattle gets 36 inches. Penninger dealing to Ryan Christensen. The first pitch misses way inside, 1-0 the count. This is Penninger's 11th game of the season. The former catcher converted pitcher. A good arm from him. 15 2/3 innings, 18 strikeouts. He pitched last night, an inning scoreless. That one gets away from Taylor. Both runners will advance. Cedillo up to third and Sylvester to second on the wild pitch. The sloppiness continues this inning for the lefties. Now the wild pitch on top of the 6th error of the night, from the lefties. Port Angeles will, of course, play the middle infield back. The corners are in. Penninger out of the stretch. Here's his 2-0. That one's ripped down the right field line. That's going to be in for a hit. 2 runs are going to come across the score. Christensen digs his way into second as the throw from Jackson comes in late. And that's the danger of just giving a team extra opportunities. They're able to stay in it. It's now 8-6 lefties. And Christensen continues to just pummel the lefties in this series. As Avery Ortiz will bat. Just finishing up that little bit on Sequim. Apparently, what actually qualifies a desert is getting 10 inches or less of rain each year. Sequim nearly qualifies as a desert with how little rain they get. So that first one's popped up right side. Helm the first baseman's over towards the first base coach's box, and he makes the grab in foul territory. A big out right there, getting Ortiz on the first pitch. I'll tell you guys this. The few times I've gone running on the Olympic Discovery Trail in Sequim, it's always been sunny out there. And even on days where it's only 70 degrees, we get to the middle of the day, boy, that sun is strong out there. Wipes me out a lot more for an 8 to 10 mile run than it normally would. Bennett Thompson's 1 for 3 with a double in the second and a run scored. Slide step from Penninger misses low. Christensen looms at second. Thompson is the tying run at the plate. 1 out in the 7th. Lefties trying to avenge a 2-run extra inning loss last night. That 1-0, a little low, 2-0. Another one popping in and out of the glove of Chase Taylor. He has not been sharp behind the plate the past 2 nights. Penninger comes set with the 2-0. Checks the runner once. He deals that's way outside. 3-0 the count. All of a sudden, the lefties who were up by 4 a moment ago, a dangerous-looking situation for them. There's action once again in the lefties' bullpen. Looks like that might be Cole Acker out there. That 3-0 is low, and a 4-pitch walk to Thompson. Postman on first and second, still only 1 out.
Now batting number 25, Jake Hoskins.
That brings up Jake Hoskins. An RBI single for him in the first. He also doubled his last at bat in the 6th. Oh, and here comes Acker again walking out to the mound. The entire infield coming in. He has not taken the baseball from Penninger yet. Well, looks like he might have right there. Bit of an extra conversation. Well, Wes Penninger walking off the mound. We're getting another pitching change. The second pitching change of the inning at Civic Field. The lefties for now sitting on a 2-run lead. The tying runs on base for the Elks. We'll be right back with another new pitcher. Cole Acker will take over on the mound. Well, coming off the second pitching change of the inning for the Lefties, Cole Acker would take over in relief of Wes Penninger. 6.11 earned run average of the season for the recent high school graduate. His 10th game of the season, 17 2/3 total innings, 8 strikeouts, 7 walks. He's in to face Jake Hoskins, the 8th man, and the first pitch is at the knees for a strike. Acker went 2 innings yesterday, ended up allowing 4 unearned runs, coming on a grand slam from Avery Ortiz. Outside 1-1. That initially made it a 7-6 ball game in favor of the Lefties. And, of course, that grand slam coming on the heels of back-to-back errors from Lefties' middle infielders. Port Angeles has been rough defensively, really for the better part of 2 weeks now. Swung on and missed at a frisbee of a curveball. Well, a high leverage spot for Cole. The tying runs on first and second. Ryan Christensen on second, Bennett Thompson at first. Couple looks at the runner at second. The 1-2 from Acker. Looks like they hit right off the knob of the bat of Hoskins. So the count remains 1-2. And immediately there is action again in the Lefties bullpen, just in case Acker runs into trouble. It looks like there's also action in the Bend bullpen. Long looking from Acker, now he comes set. The Lefties look to turn 2. Nunez keeping the run close at second. That 1-2, curveball just low. The fans below us liked it. It was a pretty good looking pitch. Might have just looped the plate inside. The shadows now completely covering the field here at Civic. The 2-2 from Acker. Line foul. Look out by the lefty dugout. A couple guys go ducking out of the way at that one. A late swing at a high curveball. Another picturesque view, though. You see the sun kind of outlining some of the houses going up the hill, and, of course, the foothills of Olympic National Park. The 2-2 again. That curveball upstairs. Hoskins thought about it. You have the 9th man Jackson waiting on deck, who struck out twice. Acker, not really a strikeout guy. Guy who likes to change speeds. He gets a lot of contact. That one's in the air to center. It's hit pretty hard. Chan's down. He started back, and now he makes the play. Really didn't have to move all that much after all. A big out for Acker immediately coming out of the bullpen. It'll bring up Elijah Jackson. Came in the game late as a replacement, one of the 11 replacements all the way around. The Lefties have now had 5 new guys come in as far as position players are concerned. 5 new faces in the lineup. Curveball outside. Aiden Arriaga, the most recent guy, coming in to start this inning in place of Isaiah Walls, and he made an error on the first ball that was hit to him tonight. The 1-0 pitch. 2-seam fastball on the inner half. Even with a guy like Acker who doesn't throw very hard, it's not fun for a righty to face. Not sure if the ball is going to go away from you or come riding back in. 1-1 curveball way outside. Acker trying to work out of a jam. A couple runs have already scored this inning. Cedillos reached based on an error from Arriaga to start. Then Sylvester singled. They both came around to score on Ryan Christensen's RBI double. In the dirt, blocked by Taylor. Then Wes Penninger was able to get a pop-up to center from Avery Ortiz. He walked Thompson on 4 pitches. Then the manager, Matt Acker, walked out and put Cole Acker in the game. 3-1 the count to Jackson. The pitch from Acker on the outside corner, strike 2. It'll load up the count now. The runners will be off. Christensen from second. And Thompson from first. Colacker trying to work out of a jam. The lefties clinging to a 2-run lead. A deep breath, the 3-2 pitch. Soft bouncer back the middle. That'll leak into center field for a base hit. Christensen's around third. He's going to score. The throw goes to third. Not in time to get Bennett Thompson. A pretty good pitch from Cole. Not hit very hard, just finding the right spot. RBI single for the struggling Elijah Jackson. It's now a 1-run game. First and third for the Elks. It brings up the leadoff man, Hunter Comide. He's 0 for 4 tonight with a couple strikeouts. Jackson with a short lead off at first. First pitch is bounced foul at the plate. And, of course, that run right there will be an unearned run going to Wes Penninger's line. Acker gets a new baseball. All three outfielders playing shallow. The 0-1 slide step way outside. Good play from Taylor to corral that one. Well, back-to-back, relatively ugly yet exciting ball games. Good curveball in there for a strike. That one started behind Comide and ran back over the middle. Well, anybody's guess what Acker will go to next. His 1-2. Soft bouncer to second. Nunez stays down, flips to second. And that'll finally retire the side. Good work from Cole Acker, able to keep it at a 1-run lead for the lefties. But the Elks do score 3. The big-time 2-run double from Ryan Christensen is the big blow of the inning. The Elks also able to take advantage of an error. We'll get ready to stretch here at Civic Field. 8-7 Lefties as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Always a refreshing thing to hear, take me out to the ball game at a baseball game. Chase Taylor, Chance Dowdy, and Julio Vasquez will be our hitters. Mahiro Tomita, after allowing a couple runs, getting hit around in the 6th, he's back out for the 7th. Boy, was he sitting on the bench for a long time. You would hope if you're a Benz fan that he at least played a little bit of catch during that inning. First pitch misses outside to Taylor, 1-0 the count. Chase is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in the 2nd. That curveball's on the outer half, 1-1. It took the lefties 3 different pitchers to work out of the top half of the 7th. The Elks scoring 3 runs. Big high curveball in there for a strike. Yeah, you got to deal with that bender from Tomita. Here's the 1-2 to Taylor. Fastball popped up into the screen, foul. That overhanging netting above home plate at Civic Field has prevented a variety of pop-outs from both teams. Tomita out of the stretch, his 1-2 again, swung on and missed. That time looked like more of a slider. So one quick out, it'll bring up Dowdy.
Now batting
Chance is 1 for 1. Or excuse me, 2 for 2. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 4th. He's seen the ball well tonight. That curveball hits right off the glove of Sylvester and goes to the backstop. He might have gotten the strike call if he held on. The 1-0, big swing and a miss from Chance. I think he was looking to hit that ball up to Olympic National Park with a swing like that. Here's the 1-1 with 1 out. Another big swing and fouled into the netting. Well, the count moves to 1-2. Dowdy might have to might have to tone the swing down a couple notches. Trying to protect. The 1-2. That one's ripped foul down the third base line. A little bit of extra encouragement from the fans here at Civic Field. Lefties have been able to respond with runs of their own after the Elks have put up runs, as time is called and Mahiro Tomita needs to tie his shoes. It's an important thing to do. You need your shoes to be tied if you're going to do anything right. Now he's set. Dowdy waiting on another 1-2. He swings and misses at a curveball. Well, Tomita looks to be sharp at the moment, even with as long as he was sitting. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 7th. And that brings up Julio Vasquez. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single, or 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first. Want to know the count. Lefty's looking for some life in the 7th inning. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-0. Wonder how BY is enjoying his evening signing autographs. Curveball in there for a strike, 2-1. Yeah, after I interviewed him earlier today, he already started signing baseballs. 3-1 the count. So Vasquez trying to work his way on base. The 3-1 incoming. Check swing at a high fastball. He did not go around. No appeal down to the first base umpire, so a 2-out walk. Now they'll bring up Mayer with 2 outs.
Now batting number 28, Brock Mayer.
He walked his last time up, singled in the 4th. Part of that big string of pinch hitters coming in for Port Angeles. As Tomita steps off, needed some time to reset. Now he's ready. Slide step delivery, and it's a breaking ball low. Steady diet of benders from Mahiro Tomita. That 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air down the right field line. It's shallow towards the line, just foul. Well, that one could have been trouble. Because Vasquez, running on contact there, would have easily made his way into third. So he'll go back to first. 1-1 the count for Brock Mayer. As Cam Custer was able to hand him the bat back to him as he came walking back to home plate. That was nice of him. A line of Lefties relievers standing and watching beyond the right field fence. Hit foul by the Lefties dugout. It's a kicked off the wood right there. 8-7 Lefties over the Elks. Ben putting up 3 runs in the top of the 7th. Taking advantage of some more bad defense from the Lefties. As Mayer will settle back into the right-handed batter's box. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. Vasquez looms at first. Fastball, low. Sylvester popped up from behind home plate, started to trot back to the dugout. The umpire says, I don't think so. Get back over here. Seen a couple times on both sides these past 2 nights. Guys starting to run off early. Here's the 2-2. Big curveball that Mayer swings through it. So Mahiro Tomita able to pick up a shutdown inning for the Elks. 3 strikeouts coming in the 7th. The Lefties go down quietly as we go to the top of the 8th. Port Angeles holding on to a 1-run lead. It's starting to get late at Civic Field as the sun has set on us. Tyler Peterson, Ruben Cedillo, Bo Sylvester, 2-3-4 coming up for Bend. And the lefties, Matt Acker going with C.J. Lewis, trying to pick up a 6-out save. His first pitch is low, 1-0 the count. C.J., well, even as a reliever, definitely in contention for the Cy Young as far as I'm concerned. He went 2 innings last night, pitching the 9th and 10th, going 6 up, 6 down. 1-1 the count on the good fastball. His ERA is down to 3.25, his 18th game out of the bullpen. 27 and 2/3 innings, 28 strikeouts. Boy, he was electrifying last night. Showing bunt and bunting it foul up the third base line is Peterson. Tyler's 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored in the 5th. He bounced out to second his last time up in the 6th. The center fielder Dowdy playing over in left center. Custer shallow in left, Jackson deep in right, playing straight away. The 1-2 from CJ out of the stretch. Ooh, off the glove of Taylor, missing inside. It was a pretty good pitch. Chase has not been himself the past couple nights behind the plate. Normally very clean and sure-handed. Well, CJ with a new baseball. He comes set. Here's the 2-2. Way inside. And that did get a piece of the leg of Tyler Peterson. A major break right there. The tying run now on base. And that brings up Ruben Cedillo. He's reached on errors twice tonight by 2 different shortstops. One by Walls, and then last time up from Aiden Arriaga, the new shortstop. He also homered in the 3rd. Well, CJ looking in, and Cedillo just now digging into the box. The lefties look to turn 2. Arriaga playing pretty shallow at the shortstop spot. There goes the runner. First pitch is fouled into the screen. Bit of a hit and run right there. Well, I'm not sure if that was a hit and run. I didn't really see Peterson looking in. He got a huge jump, though. Peterson does run well. 4 stolen base on the season for him, and he draws a throw. He dives back ahead of the tag by Helm at first. There is somebody playing catch in the lefties' bullpen right now. Big hole on the right side. We'll have to wait on the 0-1. Another check on the runner. Peterson goes back in diving. You have Vasquez at third. Well, he was playing up in the grass just a moment ago. Now he backs up around even with the third base bag just in case of a bunt. Peterson starts and stops. Broken back grounder. And throw over to second for the out. Good play by Julio Vasquez at third. Charging that ball, throwing off balance to second. And frankly, some horrific base running from Tyler Peterson. He went in coasting, standing up. Frankly, if he slid and went in hard, he might have beaten the throw. A break for the lefties. Cedillo reaches on the fielder's choice. 5-4 on that put out. Yeah, that's bad right there. You got to go in sliding. Can't take anything for granted. So it brings up Bo Sylvester. He's 2 for 3 with 2 hits tonight. Down low, ball 1. He was also hit by a pitch in the 5th. Well, the lefties will look to turn 2 again. That last one just hit way too slowly to even think about a double play. Cedillo draws a throw. He goes back in diving. Pretty good speed disparity going from Peterson at first to Cedillo. Not necessarily a slouch as far as speed's concerned, but Peterson can fly. Cedillo starts and stops, and that one's taken low. It gets away from Taylor, but he's able to pounce on it. I mean, that would have gone down as a pass ball if Cedillo was able to advance. So Lewis falling behind 2-0, trying to pick up a 6-out save. The lefties leading 8-7. Big swing and a miss. Snap throw down the first, not in time. That was a pretty heads-up play by Taylor. Almost got Cedillo caught napping. Ruben Cedillo representing the tying run at first. Lefties trying to bounce back, avoid losing their 5th straight after an extra inning loss yesterday. Another throw over, not in time. Well, a good job from Lewis trying to control the running game. All 3 outfielders deep for the lefties. Bit of a no-double setup. The 2-1. Another swing and a miss. That fastball riding down and in to the right-hander, Bo Sylvester. You have the dangerous Ryan Christensen waiting on deck. Lewis comes set. 2-2 the count with 1 out. His delivery. That ball's hit hard down the left field line. It'll hook foul and out of play. Well, they got around on that one. Lewis tried to go inside. Wonderful comeback with the slider. A short lead from Ruben Cedillo at first. Here's Lewis's 2-2. That hit him. Looked like it got him right off the hand. The second batter that CJ has hit this inning. It puts men on first and second with 1 out. Bo Sylvester did not look pleased about that one. I mean, you got a guy in CJ getting up there in the lower 90s, riding in on you. You don't want to get hit in the hand. Well, now it's Ryan Christensen. He connected with a 2-run homer last night. He's 2 for 3 with a double and 3 more RBIs this evening. Not the guy you want up if you're the lefties with the game on the line late. Cedillo at second, Sylvester at first. The first pitch from CJ in the dirt, ball 1. You have Julio Vasquez playing kind of in at third. He's even with the bag. Hey, there we go. Somebody's telling him to move back a little now. If Christensen bunts, I'll be floored if he bunts. He's not going to bunt. The 1-0. The runner from second goes. High bouncer over the first. And Helm touches the bag. That's the only play he had. The ball hit way too slowly, and both runners took off on the pitch. Cedillo up to third, Sylvester to second. A huge out, though, getting Christensen. Boy, and it's getting tight now. It brings up Avery Ortiz. 0 for 3 with a walk in the fourth. He connected with a grand slam last night in the middle of the game. A base hit would likely give the Elks the lead. First pitch. Ooh, just outside. Close. First base is open with Bennett Thompson waiting on deck. The 1-0. Big swing and a foul off the backstop. Everybody straight up all the way around. The Lefties outfield not playing all that deep. Second and third, 2 outs. The Lefties lead 8-7. Big swing and a miss at that 1-1. Looked like a slider riding down and away from the right-hander Ortiz. So Lewis going after the dangerous Avery Ortiz. CJ has his sign. He comes set. The 1-2 at 2 outs. Here's his payoff. Foul tipped off of that was off the chest protector of the home plate umpire. Every pitch tense right here at Civic Field, as both guys give the home plate umpire a little extra time. So now Ortiz digging back in. Ruben Cedillo at third. Sylvester at second. Lewis trying to work out of a jam. His 1-2 again. Oh, wow. I guess that was outside. It has not been a generous strike zone for pitchers on the outer half to righties all night. That one was close, though. Lewis will try it again. Here's his 2-2. Breaking ball. That's it high in the air to left. Custer going back on it. He's back towards the wall, and he runs out of room. That ball is gone. A 3-run homer for Avery Ortiz. His second big fly of the series, and he's just given the Elks a 10-8 lead. His second homer of the season came into play tonight hitting 184. And CJ and the Lefties thought he had him struck out just one pitch earlier. I thought he had him struck out. Boy, and finally somebody's able to get to CJ Lewis on the mound. He's just been dynamite all summer long. So now still 2 outs and a new ball game, 10-8 Elks. Bennett Thompson will bat, and he takes a strike on the outer half. Lewis looked visibly frustrated getting that ball back. It looked like pretty much the same pitch that was called a ball right before Ortiz connected for the 3-run homer. 0-1 misses inside, 1-1. Well, next inning, the Lefties will have Custer in the 9th spot, then the top of the order coming up. One. Oh, and that got a piece, well, more than a piece of Thompson right in the belt. The third guy that CJ has hit this inning. He certainly has not had his best stuff. I doubt that was intentional. At this point, I would think CJ just wants to get out of the inning. As time is called, I guess just a little extra time to see if Thompson was fine. He stays in the game as he leads off the first. It brings up Jake Hoskins as he takes a strike. Hoskins 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI single back in the second. Good lead at first from Thompson. As that one's hit high in the air, short left field. The shortstop Arriaga goes back. He makes the grab a few steps into the outfield grass. That finally retires the side, but the damage has been done. A 3-run homer from Avery Ortiz gives the Elks a 10-8 lead. Bend able to take advantage of CJ Lewis hitting 3 batters in the top of the 8th. So the Lefties have some work to do, trailing by 2, going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cam Custer and Aiden Arriaga in the leadoff spot, and Travis Helm. The Lefties trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 8th. First pitch taken down low for a ball. Custer 1 for 2 with a base hit and a run scored. High 2-0 the count. And you wonder if Cam will take a strike. Nope, he swings away and he pops it foul into the screen. Mahiro Tomita getting back to work, his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. He struggled throughout the year coming in, but he's been good tonight. Lefties really haven't had good swings against him. That's in there for a strike. 2-2 the count to Cam. The Elks just putting 3 runs on the board to steal the lead from the Lefties. The high bouncer from Custer over the 3rd. Peterson stays with it. The throw pulls the first baseman Thompson off the bag, but he's able to tag out Custer. So it brings up Aiden Arriaga in the leadoff spot. His first at bat of the night. He came in a few innings ago as a defensive replacement for Isaiah Walls. Walls is 0 for 5 with 4 punch-outs. He joined the team ahead of the series in Victoria. Swings the first pitch. He fouls that one out of play to the left side. And you have Travis Helm waiting on deck. Arriaga stepped out for a moment. Now Tomita comes set, and that one's outside. Arriaga stepping out again. Taking his time between pitches. Now Tomita's ready. Working out the stretch. The 1-1 curveball is in there for a strike. The Lefties in jeopardy of dropping their 5th consecutive game, losing last night in extra innings and getting swept by the Harbor Cats. The 1-2 pitch bounced softly foul towards the Elks dugout. Manager Joey Wong made a pretty nice play right there as he tosses it back towards the Lefties dugout. So 1-2 the count now. Boy, a long time between pitches on these foul balls. Now the 1-2 again. That one's lined out to center. Cedillo is over, and that's going to hang up there for him to make the play. 2 away, and that brings up Travis Helm.
Now batting, number 40, Travis
Helm came on as a pinch hitter in the 4th inning in place of the catcher Mauricio Guardado. Sacrifice fly in the 6th, and he bounced out to 3rd back in the 4th. So he's 0 for 1. Swings the first pitch. He hits that one pretty well to left center. Cedillo on the run, back into the alleyway, and Ruben Cedillo is able to make a pretty nice grab right around the left center field wall. So the Lefties go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. The Elks dugout real fired up right now. Well, we head to the top of the 9th. The Elks still leading by 2. Welcome back, everybody. We're set for the top of the ninth. The Elks will look to add on. The ninth man, Jackson, then Hunter Comite and Tyler Peterson will get us started. So Brock Mayer will take over on the mound. Came in the fourth inning as the designated hitter. His first pitch is in there for a strike. Mayer, a 4.90 ERA, his 13th game of the season. 22 total innings for him, 24 strikeouts. That one's lofted down the right field line, over his helm. He's able to make a pretty nice over-the-shoulder grab towards the fence. Well, good play from Travis. One quick out in the ninth. And that'll bring up Hunter Comite. Comite 0 for 5 tonight. He reached on a fielder's choice his last time up in the seventh. So the lefties forfeit their designated hitter spot in the lineup. Granted, Mayer a two-way player, at least for now. That wouldn't really matter much to them, as the first pitch is popped foul into the screen. And you wonder if Mahiro Tamita will try and come back out for the ninth to finish off the game for Bend. I don't see anybody warming up in their bullpen. Mayer have the windup, and that one's hit foul again. So Brock able to work ahead, 0-2 the count to Comite. As Comite steps out, Mayer gets a new baseball. Brock moving the ball all sorts of ways in his glove. And now he's ready to have the windup. His 0-2. Breaking ball, did Comite go around? They appeal the call to first, and yes, they say he did go around. So Comite down on strikes, now 2 away. Mayer looking sharp coming out of the bullpen. It'll bring up Tyler Peterson. 1 for 4 tonight with a double. He was hit by a pitch his last time up in the 8th. One of 3 hit batters that C.J. Lewis ended up plunking. The first pitch from Mayer on the outside corner for a strike. Roberto Nunez, Trent Jackson, and Chase Taylor will be the scheduled hitters for the lefties in the bottom of the ninth. 10-8 Elks. The second game of this weekend series. Right down Main Street, 0-2 the count. Well, Mayer looking crisp tonight. Confident looking pitcher. Here's his 0-2. Off the end of that, popped up. Short left field. Arriaga going back on it, and Custer makes the call and the catch in shallow left. So 1-2-3 go the Elks in the top of the ninth. A strong inning from Brock Mayer, the two-way guy. Last chance for the lefties coming up. It'll be the middle of their order when we return. So the lefties down to their final 3 outs. Roberto Nunez, Trent Jackson, and Chase Taylor try to ignite some life into the lefties' bats. And they've been quiet since the 6th inning. Really, they've been quiet since Mahiro Tomida's come into the game. Now on to pitch the 9th, his 4th inning of the game. First pitch out of the stretch. Nunez swings away. It's lofted in the short left. And a nice leaping grab from Jake Hoskins at shortstop to retire Nunez.
Now batting, number 5, Trent Jackson.
So that brings up Trent Jackson. Trent has been quiet tonight. He's 0 for 3. Reached on an error in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. Well, the lefty's in trouble. 2 outs away from dropping their 5th straight. Curveball taken high.
Let's go Lefties.
The lefties need a base runner, something to get the tying run to the plate. Swing and a miss from Jackson. Out in front of a fastball that time. Taylor waits on deck, who has good power. Fouled straight back, 1-2. Jackson trying to stay alive. Here's the 1-2, outside 2-2. Mahiro Tomita picking up the pace now. Really accelerating his tempo out there. Off the end of the bat, foul. Right past Acker at the third base coach's box. Interesting alignment from the outfield. The center fielder playing the most shallows. That curveball is just inside. Both Comide in left and Christensen in right playing quite deep. The 3-2 with 1 out. Jackson hits that one in the air to right. It's pretty well hit. Christian going back towards the fence, and he's able to make the catch right in front of the wall. Boy, Jackson gave that one a ride. It's a long out.
Number 18, Chase Taylor.
So the lefties down to their final out. It'll be Chase Taylor. Walked and scored in the 2nd. He struck out twice. 0 for 3 today. He takes a curveball, that big, high bender, a little high. Tomita wanted it. So did Sylvester behind the plate. You have Dowdy waiting on deck as that one misses low. 2-0 the count to Taylor. You wonder if he'll take a strike. Well, both Nunez and Jackson were swinging away. Taylor swings away. He comes up empty on a fastball. Kind of a challenge get-me-over pitch from Tomita. The lefties need something. The tying run waiting on deck. Another swing and a miss, 2-2. That one had a little extra cut on it. So the lefties down to their final strike. The Elks trying to finish off a come-from-behind victory. The 2-2 pitch, fouled straight back. So we'll try it again. Mahiro Tomita trying to earn the win on the mound, working his 4th inning out of the bullpen. Taylor staring down a 2-2 count. Tomita comes set. Here's his payoff. Hit hard in the left field for a base hit. Over to get it is Comide. Taylor will hold up at first. He's able to keep the game alive with his first hit of the evening. And now here comes Chance Dowdy. The tying run has come to the plate for the lefties. Dowdy's had himself a good night. He's 2 for 3. He struck out his last at bat in the 7th. Short lead at first from Taylor. I doubt we'll see him go anywhere. First pitch way upstairs to Chance. Doesn't look like there's any action in the Bend bullpen. 1-0. There goes Taylor. No throw down to second. Defensive indifference right there. 2-0 the count to Chance. So Taylor up to second. His run doesn't matter. Now he's on his way to third. No throw there. That one taken outside.
Let's go Lefties.
the Elks, I'm surprised they let him just take third right there. 3-0 the count to Chance. I would think he'll take all the way. The 3-0 from Tomita, and that one's right down the pike for strike one. 10-8 Elks over the Lefties. 2 outs. The 3-1. Rip and a miss. 3-2 the count. Dowdy needs to work his way on base. You have Julio Vasquez's spot waiting on deck. Yep, that's him right there in the on-deck circle as time is called at home plate. Mahiro Tomita has just accelerated his tempo on the mound. He comes set. The 3-2 at 2 outs. On the ground to third. Peterson comes in to get. He stumbles, recovers, throws to first, just in time to get Dowdy by a step. Well, that's the end of the ballgame, folks. The Bend Elks come into Civic Field. They've taken the first 2 games of this weekend series against the Lefties. And the difference, the Avery Ortiz 3-run homer, giving the Elks a 10-8 lead in the 8th inning. Mahiro Tomita earns the win on the mound, going 4 innings out of the bullpen. Another tough late loss for the Lefties as they lose their 5th consecutive game. Well, everybody, that's it for us tonight. I'm Evan Schmeiser. Griff McClellan's my live stream director. Matt Acker is the owner of the Lefties. We'll be right back here. Early start tomorrow, 1:35. First pitch on the Peninsula Public Access Station and the West Coast League app. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, you guys. We'll see you right back here bright and early.